Alright, here, I got you. Hold up. Welcome to the second season of Your Favorite Character Sucks, a show where we each argue for our favorite characters in whatever show, movie, book series, or video game we're covering. Is that roughly what we're doing here?
Oh, we all have to put on that voice?
It's hilarious.
Welcome to the second season of Your Favorite Character Sucks, a show where each of us argue for our favorite character in whatever show, movie, book series, or video game we're covering. All right, Matt, your turn.
Now, legitimately though, why are we doing this? Because we already do have an intro for season 1.
Yeah, well, just do it. Just read it.
I'm gonna go for a little different approach here. Who is the best aesthetic and story? Who makes the most sense? And who do we want to hang out with the most?
At the end of each episode, we crown one character the best character, who will then go on to compete in our best of the best finale. On today's episode, the Avengers and the MCU. What's a vocal warm up? I'm trying to think. What are some of those Stan Lee words?
Excelsior.
Yes.
Excelsior.
I don't know anything about superheroes.
Excelsior. Excelsior.
With great power.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so we are here to talk about not necessarily the Avengers or Marvel, but the MCU specifically, with some little discussion of the Avengers and comic book universe aside.
What does the MCU stand for?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
All right, cool.
It always trips me up because when I think of a C in a like an acronym, I think it's going to be a hard C. So when I get to the C, I'm always I'm always confused.
What's wrong with that though?
What could the C be?
Marvel Kinematic Universe.
Like YFCSPOD. It's your favorite character. Sucks, you know. Just plug the podcast in the podcast. It's like a Netflix show right now.
We're watching a holiday film within the holiday film that's already playing on a subscription service.
So also, my voice is it's only got like a matter of minutes until it's just cracking like a 14-year-old boy.
It's okay. You don't carry the show anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Damn.
we got the guests for that. We've got 2 guests on actually today.
Sure.
That's true.
So we can just
who do we
shut
have on? Who do we have on today? They got snapped. Out of existence.
I wish.
I'll introduce our guest.
Wait.
There we go.
All right, thank you, Matt.
As I said before, Miss Erica Campbell. Are you in any way related to Jonathan Campbell, by any chance?
Fortunately, I'm not.
Thank God. Thank
Not by
God.
blood.
Oh yeah, not by blood. If that were the case, this would be a weird relationship.
Then we'd be moving closer to the boys. And
Oh no.
and who's our other guest?
Our other guest is someone that we did dirty once upon a time.
Did we?
True.
Yeah, episode 2, season 1, X-Men.
Yes.
Not our best audio quality, and also we hadn't quite decided on the
I'm
format.
surprised he came back.
And
Also Marvel related too.
True. This is our resident Marvel
Luis
guy.
Mendoza.
Mr.
Up, guys?
Mendoza. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, so I just now recovered from getting my ass kicked on that
Damn.
episode. I just walked out of the hospital and just walked into this podcast. I'm like, wait, what's going on?
And you're gonna argue for Cyclops again on this episode.
Jesus.
I'm going to talk about Cyclops a little bit in this episode for sure.
So like I said, we're going to figure out the best character in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. My voice is going, but
where's it going?
Despite my health issues, I am the kind of person who never gives up and who's stubborn and will keep fighting and find a solution.
I'm so glad you finally admitted that you were stubborn.
Similar to Stephen Strange, Doctor.
I thought you were talking about Naruto.
I also thought you were talking about Naruto.
What's his middle name? Dr. Stephen. What's it?
His first name is Doctor. His middle name is Steven.
Yeah.
No, he's got a middle name. Anyway, Dr. Stephen Strange, he faces great adversity. He loses everything. That's the character I'm choosing, if you didn't guess already. He loses everything, both in the comics and in the movie. They do a pretty good job, I think, with his origin, played by the amazing Benedict Cumberbatch. On I want a batch of that guy. I want a batch of his cumbers.
Benedict?
You would.
Then,
Wait, do you guys think he's attractive?
No.
no, I just admire his
Hold on,
like
wait.
poise.
I'm trying to hear everybody
Okay,
else's.
all right, go ahead.
Absolutely
I
not.
find him
Please?
I find him charming, but I don't know about attractive.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
charming.
He's not
yeah, he's
attractive, but you know what? He's probably taller than 6 foot, so that's enough for me.
Ooh.
You know what? Maybe
Yeah,
in
me too,
person,
honestly.
maybe his like
Yeah.
charmness would be more attractive. But
No, I feel like in person he's probably fake.
No,
You think so?
He's
No
like
way.
no,
This guy's
dude,
British,
no,
dude.
he's very legit. And also, I'm a sapiosexual, so I'm attracted to intelligence, and he's
All right, shut the fuck up.
what a strange thing
y'all
to
know
say.
that's not true.
wait, what?
Was that a self diss?
That was I'm talking about my wife over here. Anyway, Dr. Stephen Strange.
One of my favorite
He-
characters too, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loses his ability to perform surgery and will literally gives up everything and like unintentionally goes through the same like process of like monkhood or asceticism as like, you know, all these like holy or mystic figures that you hear about like in history. He loses all of his possessions and all of his wealth and sort of gives it all up on accident in pursuit of trying to
Oh,
get
it's not
his,
on accident. It's because he's
well, I mean-
prideful and
what
has
I
an
mean is
enormous ego.
he's not giving it up to like find peace, right? Like those people are. He's not like, I'm going to give everything away. Instead, he's just like, I'm going to keep pouring money and effort into getting my hands back because of his ego. He could be like an amazing consultant, but he doesn't want that. He wants to be the person who's directly involved in getting the glory and stuff like that, right? So he has to like go through this huge, what is it called? Rebirth. And go through so much hardship before he can kind of crawl back out and become the sorcerer supreme that he becomes. And so I really admire him for that. And by the end of this episode, I think my voice will actually be stronger because I pushed through
And also because
I
of magic.
persevered. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to a bald-headed woman in
Bald-headed
the
white
Marvel
woman in China?
in the MCU. Yes, and by the way, in China, because it would have been in Tibet, but because they didn't want to upset the Chinese
Yup.
government, they made it in China instead
That's
of
what I
Tibet.
was going to say. The aesthetic is
so
clearly that
fuck
of a
Disney.
Tibetan monk, but
Yeah, fuck Disney and fuck China. And Doctor Strange is the best character in the MCU.
Jesus.
Well,
So, what else? I guess we could talk about later. I actually really like that character. I'd say he cracks easily top 3 for me, if not top 2.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 100% honest and
We tried to watch that movie together.
and just say I literally don't like superhero movies at all. I only watch them because I am dating a man right now.
You're that guy's. I'm a man.
Okay.
I found a chest hair the other day.
And I plucked it. So, anyways, I don't care much for superheroes. So I really need you guys to sell me on Doctor Strange.
Or yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, just Doctor Strange.
Sell me on him.
Well, we'll
didn't
get
sell
around to
me.
that. What other characters do
Okay.
we have
No, I'll get there. I
on
just
the
introduced my
roster?
character.
Who else do we
right,
have?
right, right.
I'd
Who
like
wants
to
to
let
go
our
next?
guests have a chance to go first here if they
If they
want.
want.
Yeah, I want to hear what the guests have to bring.
Wait, you are a guest though.
I am a guest, and I also have a co-guest, and I want to hear what that guest also has
So
to bring.
we're all saying, Luis, can you please get a
yeah,
second?
you haven't been on in a while, so you go ahead.
yeah, sure, gladly. Well, I decided to go with Tony Stark's Iron Man. Come on, the MCU is literally built on the back of that movie. If
2008 Iron Man.
Exactly. Yeah. If that movie didn't work, then none of this. We wouldn't be having a conversation about Doctor Strange.
Iron Man's a bitch.
Oh,
Damn, right out the
Damn,
gate.
right
Hold
out the
on.
gate. That's
No, this guy.
Oh man,
This guy is
I'm just
coming
having
off
like Cyclops reflex
of X-Men. We can't attack him like this.
Okay, but you know what?
So I
though?
think Iron Man-
Iron Man is one of the superhero movies that I
No.
like. But no,
Luis
Jonathan.
has PTSD. He has PTSD. We got to give him some space.
I'm gonna give him some space.
Okay.
You gave me these eyes, like, no, say what you have to say, and that's what I had to say.
Oh no,
I'm sorry,
We're not
Lewis.
saying that.
Oh,
That was John having a stroke.
okay, buddy.
Iron Man, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was trying to kiss me. I don't know.
So Iron Man, it's great. I mean, he's one of those. He's certainly not a perfect character. I don't think anybody in the MCU really is. Even Thanos has his flaws. I love Thanos too, by the way.
He does have BDE though. Got that big dick energy for sure.
Probably also
Wait,
just has a
Tony
big
Stark
dick. You know how
or
big
Thanos?
that dude is?
Tony Stark.
Oh, she's talking about Thanos. She's talking about Tony Stark.
I'm also
That's why he
talking
has
about Tony
BD.
Stark.
Oh, I was talking about Thanos, but
Oh my god. Oh, wait. We'll get to him in a little bit. We'll get to him in a little bit, y'all. Hold up.
Wow.
So the franchise was built on the back of Iron Man. I think
Yeah.
everybody can agree with that. That film was
Yeah,
insane
yeah.
when it came out.
Yeah, I mean, before the MCU, I always loved this character. I thought he was very flawed, but very interesting. He had the alcoholism. They didn't really touch on that in the MCU. I think maybe in one of the movies they hinted at it. But he
3,
was just,
I think.
Yeah. No, I think it was in 2, where he crashes his own birthday party and he pees in his own suit.
Is that 2?
Yeah, it's 2.
There's 3 Iron Man movies?
Yes. And that's perfectly fine because low-key, the third one isn't really my favorite. It's not the strongest. But the thing about
Wait, Loki? You like Loki in that one?
I actually have a point to bring about him, but I'll do that later. With Tony Stark, like he starts off as this character that you just don't like, and within that first movie, he turns it completely around, and he wants to do good. And every movie from that point on, he makes his mistakes, he learns from them, or he keeps adding to them, and it actually makes the situation worse as we head into your Infinity Wars, your Civil Wars. And to me, that just made him a really interesting character. He is the bad guy in Civil War, but I still feel like he is doing the right thing, but he's the bad guy, and Captain America is doing the bad thing, but he's the good guy in that movie. And I always just found that very interesting that I can't say anything bad about Cap or Thanos either, but with when it comes to Iron Man, I just
Catboy.
yeah,
Cap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Catboy from PJ Masks, a animated superhero show that our
yeah,
children
they're pretty
watch.
Close to when you
canon.
think about it.
Are they in the MCU? Is Catboy in the MCU?
He should be.
I
Owlette?
mean,
Gecko?
they don't know who these people are.
No. All right.
So I see where you were coming from. I think you did a great job presenting him.
This is your report.
Yeah, I think you did a great job presenting him. I will agree that he has big dick energy, but at the same time, he has.
You're agreeing with yourself because you're the one who said that.
But at the same time, he also has like this like zaddy energy that sometimes it's just like a little bit too much for me. Like he thinks he's like literally everybody's daddy, and I'm like, you're not anybody's daddy yet. You know?
He is actually that one girl's dad. Doesn't he have like
Yeah,
a
but
daughter?
isn't that in like the last movie though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, like, he just, I don't know, there's something about him where he, like, is like, I'm daddy. And I'm like, you're not daddy.
You're saying there's
you know?
like a certain smugness to him that kind of like
Yeah,
radiates.
oh, of course.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like the character.
That's
And
one of
I
his
agree,
flaws,
that's
right?
not my favorite thing about him. I think the thing I really like about him is when he makes his mistakes, and also he has a lot of heart, even though he has a arc reactor. But he has a lot of heart in that
Yes.
character where. In Endgame, he feels the pain of having lost Spider-Man, and then all the other people in the snap.
He does.
Like
Yeah.
that it hurt. Like I remember.
Did you cry?
Yeah, of course. But I remember when he comes out of the ship and he meets Cap for the first time in Endgame, and he says, "I lost him. I lost the kid."
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what. Like, I can only describe it as the smell of crying. Like my nose, like I could feel there was like a tension. Like
No, I know exactly what you're
You're
talking
just
about,
like, it's like
actually.
right
but you know
there.
what? All of our tears smell differently, so.
yeah, fair enough.
Wait, what?
Speaking of crying, you know who is one person I've never seen cry in my life? He's in this podcast. He's in this room right now. Brandon Nash.
Wait, y'all are in the same
You're
room?
in the same room.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
absolutely.
What?
Okay, yeah, we're not.
I have seen Brandon.
Wait, no, are y'all in the same room or not?
No, I'm in my apartment.
We're in the same Discord room, which
The
is
same,
the same
Discord
chat room.
Discord.
Oh.
I'd like to think
I
that we're
have seen.
close.
I have seen Brandon cry
Yes.
How many times?
but,
Once?
once.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was because
Do
I was.
you know what I'm talking about, Brandon?
Yeah, I was out eating with John's family, and my
Yep,
mom thought it would be a
100%.
good idea to call me and tell me that my dog just got ran over.
How old are you, Brad?
I don't know. We were in
Eighth
high
grade,
school.
right?
It was, yeah. Like,
It's still
No, it was
depressing as shit when
Probably
your dog
ninth
dies, dude.
grade or something.
we were at dinner and he just started crying. We were like, "What the hell happened?" He's like, "My dog got hit by a car." It's
That shit
It's
is
not
not
good.
funny, but
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you couldn't just tell me that when I got home. And it wasn't like a calm call where she's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but this happened." No, I answered to just
She's
hear
hysterical.
frantic crying. So my first
My
thought, like, I
God.
just immediately start crying because I just assume like someone in my family's
Anthony.
dead.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Your dog just got ran over, and Anthony was outside and saw it."
Oh my God. That's what happened to Ann.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why he's fucked up now. So
Were you trying to segue to Brandon with the crying
Yeah.
thing?
So Brandon, who?
wait, I thought we were
What
letting
a
the guests
terrible
go.
segue.
Oh, I'm
What a
sorry.
fucking
Yeah.
terrible segue.
Erica Campbell, perhaps.
Oh, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go. I picked Thanos. He is not considered a hero.
Now, say his name again.
Thanos.
It's really weird how you say that. I don't.
Thanos. How do you pronounce his name?
That last one,
Thanos.
It's like
Thanos.
this. Thanos.
No, it is not.
Thin ass.
Thin ass.
Oh, his ass ain't thin.
Thanos?
Just no.
Shit
I love
ain't
the way
thin at
you
all.
say it. Keep saying
Okay,
it.
here's
Keep
the
saying
thing. Now
Thanos.
he is so thick. Okay, we'll talk
a
about the
thick-ass dude for
sexual.
sure.
We'll talk about the sexuality of him after I just defend him because like his sex appeal already is enough for us to all just agree that
Yeah.
he wins.
When we get to the aesthetic,
he'll
we'll talk
bend us
about
all
that.
over. Like we get it.
He's like a fusion
So,
version of like Grimace and Barney when you think about it.
I don't know who any of those
Yes,
people
you
are.
do.
Barney, the dinosaur.
and
Yeah,
Grimace
absolutely.
is the purple guy in the McDonald's.
Oh
commercial.
my gosh, I love that guy.
She also has a thing for Grimace.
Yeah,
Apparently.
well, there you go.
Is it a purple thing or is it a build
So
thing?
obviously Thanos wanted everybody.
Yeah, it's a build.
He thought he was doing a good thing, right? Like he was like, gotta get rid of all these people. And I am very passionate about the last two Avengers movies. I have probably only seen, I don't know.
She doesn't like superhero films.
I don't like superhero movies, but when he snapped his fingers, I seriously was like in love with him. I was just like, yeah, he did it. He snapped his finger. And then when you get to see everybody get dusted away, like I've never been so turned on by someone before in my life.
She like when like Spider-Man gets dusted, it like chokes me up. When Spider-Man gets dusted for her, it's like yes.
No. I
did it.
actually I was rolling my eyes when Spider-Man got
Oh,
dusted
why?
because I don't care for that actor. Like
Oh, Tom
You don't like
Holland,
Tom
yeah.
I
Holland?
don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care
love
for
Tom
that.
Holland either.
I didn't care
He
for the
is
whole
the
like
second
no,
best
also,
Spider-Man, though.
Also, it took him. I don't know. I guess I like Miles Morales as Spider-Man, and that's it.
Yeah. Miles Morales is really cool, but
Yeah.
we don't have an actor for them yet.
Not yet.
No, he's a cartoon.
I know, but I'm saying we need a
MCU.
live action one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So anyways, no, when he also got dusted, it took way too long. I was like, everybody else was like, poof, and he
Instantly,
was like,
yeah.
and I was like, boy, go, you know? So anyways, he basically, long story short about Thanos, and he just wanted this balance, which we all know does not exist in a perfect world. So it's kind of silly of him to think that it was a real thing, but he truthfully thought he was doing the right thing for everybody. And I don't think every person, like all of these superheroes, there's a part of them that's about their ego, where they're like, I have to save this. Like, I have these capabilities, blah, blah, blah.
sacrificed.
He was like, no, I'm doing this for you, not for me. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for the earth. I'm doing this for the trees. I'm doing this for the animals. I'm doing this so kids won't have to starve. Like, he was literally doing it for humanity.
Even afterwards, he
I
just
wouldn't
kinda
call it
sits there by
humanity
himself.
since, there's a lot of
Or
aliens.
The
and
universe.
such, but
The
yeah.
universe, right?
I mean, aliens, humans,
does it
like,
for everyone.
we're all
But
aliens,
also,
you know?
isn't in
He's isolated afterwards.
when
too.
he
Like, he's
comes
not
back
living
in
a happy
Endgame
life.
Yeah.
and they're like fighting back, isn't he
Yeah, what
like
does he say?
the snap failed, so now I'm just gonna kill everyone?
Yeah.
Well, his
On
point
Earth,
is
yeah.
his point is Brandon that the half that survives can't move on. He's learned that, so now he realizes he needs to just start everything over. Basically, like you can't just destroy half; you have to destroy all, and then let everything start over again. Is what he's saying.
Oh yeah. Also,
But can
disclaimer,
life
because
start over
obviously
if
this is
it doesn't
happening
exist?
during quarantine.
Yeah, I guess not.
You got the Infinity
Since
Stone,
this is
sure.
happening
why not?
during the pandemic, I feel like we should be sensitive to that.
What?
Obviously, like our population's dwindling now
Oh,
because of the
shit.
pandemic.
God dang.
So it's like, so for me to be like, yeah, I love this movie for that reason, and then also it's happening in real life.
Yeah, has our
I just feel
quality
like
of
it's
life
a
really
little bit of a
improved as people are
sensitive
dying?
topic, and I just want to say, like, obviously this is us talking about a movie
Yeah.
and not real life.
That's true.
I listen to a lot of podcasts where people make a lot of disclaimers, so I'm good at it.
True.
I'm good at it.
All right.
Disclaimer,
So
I'm unwilling to
anyways-
make any disclaimers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I mean everything I say.
Disclaimer: we don't do disclaimers on this podcast.
Well, when you got me
Trigger
on
warning.
here, I'm like queen of all of that stuff, so I'm gonna do
the
Talk
next
about this
character
man's
for-
fucking
Wait, we never
sausage
talked
fingers.
about the
This man's got fucking
sexuality of him.
bratwurst.
We'll talk about everything.
Are you talking about his? Are you talking about his fingers right now?
Yes.
Thanos'
Introducing.
fingers.
Yes.
So Thanos is obviously very sexually attractive.
I'm sorry. We do
Okay.
need to move past this. We'll get back to this
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're gonna,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna talk all about him later, but we're
Yeah.
gonna introduce our characters.
I'll be looking at pictures of him in the meantime.
Who's next, Matt?
Brandon, I'd love for you to go next if at all possible.
All right. Today, on this episode of Your Favorite Character Sucks, I'll be discussing who I think is a fan favorite, the Black Panther, specifically T'Challa.
R.I.P. Chadwick.
Yeah,
Boseman.
let's start it off saying
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Damn.
Chadwick Boseman.
R.P. Stanley.
That's too
R.P.
fucking
just
sad.
everybody, bro.
It is, but we have to be realistic.
Yeah, the fact that he was making those movies while terminally ill is insane and very impressive.
It really is very impressive because I swear, like, there's times when I'm like, oh, I'm cramping. I'm not going to work out today. You know?
No, I get it. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I mean, Chadwick Boseman aside, even the character is by itself, worthy of being top 5 in this podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, since we're talking MCU specifically, yes, he's the one that brought the character to life. But on his own, the character is already amazing, I think, in terms of the character design and just, like his fighting style.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's a couple reasons that I think make him stand out. And one, Black Panther and Wakanda is kind of like the only mainstream example of Afrofuturism,
Yes.
Yep.
which I think is a very interesting genre that isn't very well covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a great example because I feel like often like superhero stuff can be kind of cheesy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think there are definitely some black characters that lean into stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
But for Black Panther, they scrapped all of that, I feel like.
Right.
His African heritage is a huge part of his character.
He's a king.
But they're not trying to play off of that stereotypical view of Africa as being like impoverished and like constantly struggling.
Post-colonial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
But Wakanda is like an amazing place, like the most technologically advanced country in the world.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, and he is like such a noble, honorable character as king also.
Mhm.
And so I think the representation of that portrayal of a black character is very important.
Mhm.
And I think he has inspired a lot of people. And I talked to you, John, like I feel weird talking about this kind of,
I understand. Yeah.
about how the black community views his character when I'm not black.
Yeah.
But
But we
just
s-
based
we
on
still
based on
see
my
it.
observations.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a huge inspiration, I think. And yeah, because the superhero world is like very dominated by white male characters.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so to see this black character that is not just some stereotype or some sidekick or something, but who
Yes.
is a powerful, rich, and noble king is very awesome.
Yeah, and I was telling you, I mean, obviously I only secondhand saw that cultural impact because my students in 2018 when it came out, or 2016 when did it
Something
come
like
out?
that. It's been a while at this point.
2018.
Time
I
has no
think.
meaning in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it literally
True.
It literally transformed because I mean, this is the middle of Trump's presidency, and I can tell you that when Trump got elected, my students were very like their entire demeanor changed. It sounds like I'm exaggerating to some people, but I'm telling you, their entire demeanor changed. And when this movie came out, I'm not lying, I saw it change again, but in a positive way. It was really cool to see. But then also, even as a white man who does not have any experience in that culture, it felt like a fucking breath of fresh air to go to a movie that was different, that was not just the same fucking thing that we've seen 100 times, you know? So even if you're not a part of the culture, like it just felt good to see a different movie.
Yeah, the standalone movie definitely stood out to most of the other
Even the
Marvel
music
stuff.
was better.
Oh man, Kendrick
I was
Lamar.
about to go, I don't remember the movie
the
at all.
costuming and the music is
Oh,
all
man.
very
The
good.
music.
thing
oh
that
my
kinda
gosh,
sucked
the
about that film-
outfits.
The CGI was like definitely overdone in some of the
I
fight
think-
scenes, stuff like that.
I think
but I mean,
sometimes the part where you're right about that.
I don't remember anything of the movie except for like cute outfits, a waterfall,
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
That's it. That's all I remember. Oh my gosh, wait.
Oh, M'Baku?
Yes.
M'Baku.
Yes.
Wait, okay, hold on. We have to do honorable mentions later. We'll do
M'Baku.
honorable mentions
Okay,
later.
never mind. I remember him.
Okay.
The thing I remember most about that man is when he literally just fucking apes out on Martin Freeman's character.
Oh, I thought you said Morgan Freeman. I was like, what?
No, Martin Freeman.
Yeah, different guy.
Jim from the British Office.
I know.
Okay.
Is that how you reference that man?
The guy,
me, yes.
the porn star in Love Actually.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
Oh, yeah,
remember
that's
that movie
also a
at
good
all.
reference. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's very obscure.
Bilbo Baggins.
Watson. Yeah.
Yeah, Watson. All right, Matt, it's down to you.
I'll say one thing about Black Panther is I think that I don't know. I read a lot of comics, both DC and Marvel, and I was like vaguely, peripherally aware of that character. But it wasn't until we saw that series on BET, just on network television a while ago, and I showed it to Bran. I was like,
Extremely
this is actually
underrated.
pretty cool thing because one, it was about a superhero like that was so different from all the other heroes, and just the
Yes.
animation style and everything about it was pretty
Talking
cool.
about Black Lightning?
No, there's a Black Panther series that came on BET. It was animated.
Yeah, this little mini.
It was just a mini series.
That was
Yeah. It was awesome.
The way that
I
they
just
shit
rewatched
on
it.
like colonists and stuff like that in that movie, in that show is so funny.
yeah, but we'll,
I mean, I love it.
Oh yeah, no, they shit on like European colonialization and just like America's
When did that come
foreign
out?
policy.
I want to say 2008 or something like that. Or
I want to say
somebody
2000s.
should look that
yeah.
up.
All right,
Yeah, it's
I'll look it up. We'll talk
over a
more about
decade
Black
old.
Panther later. But
So
we need to
speaking
get
of
through-
colonialism,
oh God,
it's almost fucked to pick this character
It really is.
because this guy is designed to literally be the embodiment. I don't know. His worst flaw is that he's just generic. He's just built different. You know what I'm saying?
built different.
This man, they don't make him like this anymore. Captain America, my man Steve Rogers, bro. Look,
They don't make him like what, a string bean?
I
You're
mean,
right. They don't.
look,
built.
they don't make it. They don't got a heart like that man anymore. That's what I'm saying.
What's the actor's name? Chris
Evans?
Did y'all know he had like a nude slip or whatever?
Did he? How big is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I
I
shouldn't be saying
didn't
stuff
look.
like that, but
No, you definitely can. I think everyone was asking that. I didn't look, so
I
I'm a lady.
I loved
after
him
I
in
Googled
Scott
Black Panther
Pilgrim.
BT,
I did not particularly like him in Fantastic Four or Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer,
Oh,
which is his other
yeah,
role
he
in a
was-
Marvel
know he
Marvel
was in
franchise.
that.
Human Torch. He was Human Torch, right?
He was
So
the
you-
Human Torch, correct? Yeah, his first
His
role.
Is that
first
the one
role.
whose face you can't see? The Rock? The big
No, that
rock
would be
man?
the Thing, which would be Ben Grimm.
You know who also played Human Torch and then made a better role in the MCU was fucking Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. He appears in the Black
Playing Killmonger.
True.
Way better
Yeah.
Killmonger.
So
way
look, here's the thing
yeah,
about
his
Captain
outfits
America.
are so cute.
Captain America is the best character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what are you sorry about it? That was it. That's all I have to
Nothing.
say about it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We'll talk about it more later, but there's just so much to say that to go into it now would be just ridiculous.
Hi, folks. You may not recognize my smooth, sonorous voice, but this is John. This is what I sound like after a weekend break. Anyway, I'm here to say that you just heard the opening statements. You're about to hear some more impassioned arguments for our characters, as well as some honorable mentions. And then in the end, we're going to pick the best character in the MCU. But I'm not going to lie, we bit off more than we could chew. This conversation was originally 2.5 hours long. I had to cut almost an hour of it to make it more palatable. So I won't waste your time anymore. I just wanted to let you know, hang on, it's really good. Listen to the whole thing on your long commute. And then if you like what you hear, go check out some other episodes of Your Favorite Character Sucks wherever you listen to podcasts. I promise you, none of them are as long as this one. All right, no more interruptions. Let's get back to the show.
Well, I think we should start talking about Thanos first, because he's the only villain that we've selected, right?
That's true. He is a quote-unquote villain.
I think he's just straight up a villain. I don't even think quotations are necessary.
I think if you commit genocide, regardless of your reasons, you're probably a villain.
But aren't
hold on,
superheroes
wait, wait.
aren't
As
superheroes
genocide, though,
killing people on
because-
accident too? Think about all the damage they cause. They're definitely killing
Who?
people because of their ego.
Luis,
Superheroes.
what is that? What is that city called?
They
What is
actually
the city
addressed
called?
that, right? And
I mean, that's true. I mean, because like that's the reason of Civil War. Cap accidentally causes the
Not
incident
Cap,
that killed
Wanda.
all those
Scarlet Witch.
people.
Tony Stark.
Well, yeah, I guess it was.
Tony
but
Stark
it was
made Ultron.
the distract because
Ooh, Ultron's so spooky.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, and also he was like in charge of like Stark Industries, and they were like producing all these like
We
weapons.
could just talk about
and-
colonialism. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite topics to talk about on this podcast, and it really does wrap into.
Okay,
I
while
feel
we're on the topic
all the
of
characters.
colonialism. Okay, this is so random, but Jonathan kind of looks like Chris Evans. Have y'all noticed that?
No.
Does
no,
he?
you do a
Just because
little
I'm
bit.
a white man.
Put up a
does
side
not
by
mean I
side
look
on
like Chris
Instagram. I'd be
Evans.
willing to believe it.
Jesus.
I like he kind of does. It's funny too because one day I was like,
Have
Chris
y'all-
Evans looks like a little bitch, and
Have
then
y'all ever noticed that Erica
Damn.
looks just like Naomi Campbell?
I used to get that, and it's such a lie. Like white people who say that type of stuff are just
Right. It's just a black woman
the
who's
worst.
pretty.
No, you literally.
And I'm just a white, handsome dude. So you think I look
wait.
like Chris Evans?
What? No, you guys look at Chris Evans. You'll be able to see it a little bit. Have y'all seen that Twitter? I'm so sorry, we're off topic, but like, what do I know about superheroes anyway?
I mean, yeah, realistically, let's just talk about other stuff.
Have y'all seen the Twitter thread of like pick the best Chris or whatever? Because like people talk about
Who's
that
all
all
the
the
Chris's?
time, and then
Yeah.
all these people come into
Hemsworth
defense for Chris Pratt. Like he's so great that we do not need this division in our country right now. Blah blah. And it's like, first of all, it's a joke. Second of all, he's definitely the worst Chris because of all y'all coming to his defense like he's a little baby. But obviously, it's Chris Pratt. He's the worst one.
Out of
Well,
who?
and-
Hemsworth, Evans, and Pratt?
Well,
Pine, I think.
and let's talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Pine in the
Pine?
MCU?
No, I think it was just
No,
about
he's
who's
not.
the worst
Well, no,
Chris,
he's
right?
in the
He's-
DC.
Yeah, famous
Yeah.
Chris's.
Oh,
This was
Oh,
just
Chris Pine?
Chris's, not.
EU. Yeah, Chris Pine
What
is
about
Wonder
Walken?
Woman's dude. Christopher Walken. What about him?
What does he rank?
He's in the DC universe too because he plays God dang it, what's his name in Batman?
Harvey Dent.
I
Yeah.
think he plays Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent?
Yeah, and then they do Tommy Lee Jones by the time they get to Batman Forever.
Jesus.
I stopped liking
shit, yeah, they
superhero
did
movies
do
after
that.
the Batman.
I forgot that man
Oh.
was in Batman Forever. Shit.
So yeah, but the reason I don't like Chris Evans, I don't know. He's
You don't like
portrayed-
Chris
so let's-
Evans?
No, sorry, Chris. God dang it, they're all Chris's. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt.
I was
The
gonna
reason
say,
I
Chris
like
Evans
Chris Evans
is
as a
pretty
person.
You don't
nice.
like
actually. I've
Chris
seen-
Pratt?
I don't know why. I literally think the reason I don't like him is because as Star-Lord, he fucks up the whole getting the glove off plan. I think that's the reason I don't like him.
Oh, yeah.
I hate him so much whenever that happens. I hate it.
Ooh, yeah.
But at
Yeah,
the
that
same
part
time,
definitely
that
devalues his
scenario is the only scenario that
In
they
which win.
survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So had he taken it off, who knows what would have actually happened, and maybe they
would've
would have been
lost.
even worse off. Yeah.
Oh, they would have lost.
And thank goodness the Doctor Strange was there.
Yeah.
The Doctor Strange?
The Doctor Strange. I was going to say the best character, but I didn't want to be too cocky. But I'll say it. The best character, Doctor Strange,
Doctor Strange's definitely not
was
in
there.
the
But
top.
hold on, he was there
That was an MVP move because he
look into
it's
every
almost like a
alternate
Batman
future.
thing, right? Where like he knows what's about to happen, but he doesn't apply it because he can't have all the players know about it because it'll affect the outcome. So like that's big for him to hold that back.
It gives me
for
chills
the greater good.
whenever he's about to turn to dust. What does he say to Tony Stark? I think he says it was the only way.
It was the
Something
only
like
way.
that.
Yeah, we're in the end
See,
game.
that's how you go out. That's how you get dusted.
It was so good. It gave me
Leave him with a
chills
little
thinking about it right
one-liner.
now.
Have him thinking.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
my
just
gosh, I need to
saying-
start thinking about my
I'm just
one
saying,
line.
let's talk about it now. Without Doctor Strange, without his vision and his assistance, fucking Endgame doesn't go the Avengers way. You know what I'm saying? He orchestrates it.
Well, to be
He
fair,
orchestrates
without
it.
But
if you
without
pull out any of the
Thanos,
pieces, then
yeah.
the whole tower collapses.
Without
Okay.
Thanos, there is no Endgame.
Well, yes, but
Well, that's true.
yeah, there's no
I mean, if you
conflict
take
at all.
out
Yeah.
Cap or Iron
Well,
Man
but
or
also-
Hulk or Thor,
Oh, no. But let's talk about the because like I said, I do not like superhero movies, but I love a reunion. Love a good reunion. Without Thanos, we wouldn't have that incredible scene, and y'all might think it's cheesy, when all the women are like fighting at one time.
It's not good. It's
Oh my
It's
gosh,
very
I
bad.
loved it.
I did not like it at all.
Oh, you did
It
like
was
it.
so cheesy. No, it was
I
super
don't think it was just cheesy. I think it was kind of
It was
like,
insanely cheesy.
here you go, women. We gave you one scene.
No, because it's the end though. Like
Yeah.
that's the end. Like
Why didn't they get any other scenes?
No, I'm saying there are like tons of other scenes with
That's
the
true.
women
Scarlet
in it.
Witch does do a lot, actually.
Scarlet, I mean, Captain Marvel's randomly in it.
Captain Marvel was randomly.
Yeah,
You're right.
randomly
Yeah.
in
Random.
it.
She serves no purpose.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, without Thanos though, we wouldn't have a reunion. We wouldn't have a reason for all these people to be together. We wouldn't have Thor going through like all the processing of like
Oh,
his
God.
mom's death, and I think like his
Becoming
fat
obese.
phobia or whatever. I don't know. Like,
Phobia, he becomes obese.
you're saying
That's-
good
that's a-
has
that's
to
a good
rise to
point.
meet evil. So without evil, there's no plot.
Yeah,
Right,
without
like-
Thanos, you don't have all this.
We
Also,
needed
without
so
Iron Man,
much
you
of
don't
this-
have it. So, kind of goes back to Iron Man. I feel.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you could talk about that because you start pulling at the pieces and then what? Then there's no.
No, but
Well, for sure. There's no orchestra without the violins, but you still have someone to orchestrate. I'm saying Doctor Strange is the conductor
In this particular instance,
in this instance. Yeah.
and he just leaves like 1/10 the way into the performance.
Yeah, he has to.
he's that person in the group project though. You know what I'm talking about? Who just sits there and watches it get done, and he's like, "I know we're gonna get an A, guys. I don't even need to help because I can see that we're gonna get an A. So don't even worry about it."
He's the guy who touches the first domino, and then he doesn't have to do anything else.
No, he's the person who sleeps with the teacher.
Wait,
and
what?
that's how you know you're gonna get the
I'm mixing
A.
metaphors here.
I would say
Yeah, I'm not-
that in this hypothetical test situation, this man is a genius, so he probably wouldn't need to do any of that stuff. He could probably
That's what I'm
just ace the
saying.
test.
And Benedict Cumberbatch, I believe, like he plays geniuses in every role he plays. Like I believe him as a genius. you know
Okay,
what I
but
mean?
let me just say one thing. If I had to pick a movie to watch, it would not be Doctor Strange. So he's
But
out.
I really like that one with a couple of caveats, obviously.
Here's the thing I like about Doctor Strange. Him and Tony Stark both start as unlikable assholes who are in the wrong, and then they have to basically go through a death of the self and a rebirth, and I love that.
I'm sorry, but I think that's what a lot of men need to be going through. I don't have any like remorse, like, oh wow, you finally realized you were an asshole. Oh,
What
good
about-
for you. No, we
and hear
need
me
men
out.
to start realizing this.
Yeah, I was
But you
gonna
know
say,
who's not an asshole?
Exactly.
You know who has never
T'Challa.
And
been an
Thanos.
asshole
wait,
either?
but-
Captain America. I'm just,
Yeah, Black Panther and Cap are just actual
Well,
good
wait,
heroes.
but Black Panther, Brandon, maybe you can speak to this. He goes through his own sort of awakening too, though, in that movie, in the Black Panther.
yeah,
movie.
so he
Go
has
ahead.
to deal with the desire for vengeance because of his dead father.
this is true.
Yeah, he's going through a different
Which
awakening.
which is still an interesting character arc, but without him being a cocky asshole.
Right, 100.
But I'm saying he also goes through the whole thing with Killmonger.
Yeah.
He has to basically rethink what he thinks about Killmonger and that whole thing because he loses his kingship. He gets beaten by Killmonger.
Yep.
So he also goes through that hero's journey, and it's really cool.
Yeah, so the struggle in the Black Panther movie
So good.
is a pretty interesting conversation, I think, because it's like, why doesn't this kingdom that has everything help out, their brethren elsewhere? That's sort of Killmonger's deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why are you letting black people in America suffer when you
Not even just America.
have the power to change
across
the
the
world?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the whole world. And that is a very interesting point. That's why I think Killmonger is also a good villain, and it creates an interesting struggle.
He
really
is,
good.
yeah.
Because
and they're cousins.
because
I love it.
he's not just trying to take over Wakanda because he's evil. I think that is a very valid question to ask.
Hey, Auntie.
That was great.
So what I will say about Killmonger, since he's not the character we're coming to discuss, is that he's a good villain because he has a noble goal, but his method of achieving it is what separates him from a hero, right? Because a hero would
absolutely.
never would reverse it, right? Instead of being the oppressed, become the oppressor. A hero seeks a way to resolve the conflict through other means, which is kind of, and that's part of also kingship and ruling and all these other things that sort of weigh upon the Black Panther's head. And he does manage to do it all.
What's
imagine.
cool, what I also love about that movie, though, is T'Challa defeats Killmonger, but then offers him aid and is like, look, we have the best healers here. We can heal you. And there's obviously that freaking iconic scene, what is it? Bury me in the ocean with my brothers,
Ancestors.
with my ancestors.
Yeah.
Who knew that it was better to die in freedom than to live in chains or something like that? I can't remember. It's something like
They
that.
would have put
It's
that
really
guy on
good.
the raft for
Yeah.
sure.
It's so good. But my point is that then after that scene, what does he do? T'Challa reverses decades of centuries of what Wakanda has been following.
Just
And
isolationism, essentially.
So I mean, the villain leads to a change in the hero. And I think that's really cool.
And that's why he is a good hero, because he's not
Exactly.
stubborn, and he's not going to say, I don't care, that guy was evil, I'm sticking to our ways.
Right.
He takes it into consideration and actually adapts.
How many villains teach the characters lessons? Obviously you learn lessons like Tony Stark learns lessons from Ultron and stuff like that, right? But how many of the heroes listen to the villains and actually make a change? Like they realize, you're right, I am doing fucked up shit, and like grow from it. Like that's such a good movie.
What I would say about
Okay, now what lesson did Thanos teach us?
What did Thanos teach us?
That mass executions don't help anything.
correct.
Did they not?
I think they made everything
It
much
absolutely
worse.
did
Yeah.
not.
But why? Why did
It
they
showed
make things
society
worse?
afterwards. It was
I
pretty
know,
bad.
but obviously it's a cheesy superhero movie. That's
I mean,
why.
I thought the beginning of that film was actually too dark and gritty. I wish they
You
would have
think
been
so?
sped up a little
I
bit.
thought it wasn't
think
dark
was-
enough.
No,
It was like 30 minutes.
It lasted
It was so
way
long. It
too
was
long.
so
It was like,
long.
oh my god, we get it.
It was
the
long.
Hawkeye scene took like 10 minutes.
No, but
and
that
then,
movie's like what 3 hours long. I was so appalled when I saw that movie was 3 hours long. I was like, this could be a documentary.
I don't care about Hawkeye at all.
Me neither. So the fact that he was the one that we were focused on, and his family getting dusted, I was like, boy, you could have gotten dusted too. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, no, I feel the same.
like
they
Hawkeye,
should have
dude.
picked somebody. Like, pick Pepper
I think it's
Potts
supposed to
or
be like,
whatever.
he's the one that's the most like a normal guy,
I guess.
He
I
is.
guess, and has his
I
family,
guess.
but still, yeah, I don't care.
I,
Me
uh,
neither.
And then he goes all like edgy
Ronin?
mode.
When
With
it
his
becomes
eyeliner,
Ronin, you mean?
like, I do not even
That's
care.
literally
Yeah,
his moniker
yeah.
when he goes off and does that. It's Ronin. I'm pretty sure.
Bro, you're white. You can't name
Can we
yourself
also
that.
talk about the only time I see an Asian dude in the entire film is when they play generic Yakuza boss that gets iced by a white guy in Japan.
Oh yeah,
So
we
fucked,
talked to
bro.
this. We talked about this
no,
before,
you
but
got-
yeah.
Nah, you got my dude's friend from the what is that area called that Doctor Strange goes to? Not Tibet, because China said don't do that, Disney. and
It
they
literally
listened,
has a
but
name.
I can't remember the name,
God,
but
it's some
yeah,
stupid name.
his mystical friend is an Asian dude who's really funny.
Wong?
Is it Wong? I think
Wong
it
is
must be.
literally
It's
the name
something.
of his assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, you get
I love that dude.
in Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, you get like a big Asian dude that's the comedic
Correct.
relief.
Oh, yes,
That's
yes,
about the
Wong,
extent
who is
of Asian
studied
characters.
there for like what, like probably 10, 20 times the amount of time that
Yeah, he's been a sorcerer his whole life, but still just a
he's
sidekick
just
to
destined
Doctor
to be
Strange.
a manservant. Yeah, servicing
That's
Doctor Strange.
that's my one fault with Doctor Strange is he's like too good.
Well, he's driven. He is driven. That's
fair,
one thing.
He instantly becomes the
He
best.
is
Well, I don't
like
think
top,
he's- I
top
don't
20
think so.
geniuses in the Marvel universe.
But does that make you better at magic?
Yes.
But Brandon, I
Literally.
think also what happens is he doesn't follow the rules and he dabbles with that like restricted magic, and that he's not good at everything. Like Wong is probably better all around with the basics
Like-
and fundamentals.
I get that he's a genius, but he wasn't like a scientist. He was a surgeon.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
sure.
And here's something I want to break about
Like that's
him.
like a practical intelligence. I don't know if that's necessarily the same as being a super
Well, no, he also
genius,
is just
but-
a super genius, I think.
Like, sorry to break it to you about Doctor Strange, though,
Mm-hmm.
is like, unless you've seen his movies, he is nobody to you. So, like, the more y'all talk about him, I'm just like, I don't even know who this dude is. I've only seen Endgame. I've only seen,
right.
So the short
what's
of
the
it,
second one?
he's
say
a
one
white
but like
doctor
all the, but
that
all
goes and
the
learns
other
about some
ones, though, I'm
mysticism from a
saying,
white woman
no,
in China. or
No, I'm
whatever.
saying Doctor Strange can't win this because in comparison to everyone else, he's just not relevant.
The thing is,
Like Black Panther has merch, has an
Merch.
audience. Iron Man has a costume, merch. Everybody has a costume except for Doctor
what are you
Strange.
talking
He's
about?
got the cape.
He has a costume.
He
No,
has a cloak of levitation. He has the
doesn't
Eye
have
of
a costume
Agamotto.
at Target. I'm saying at Target, like he's not marketable. He's not interesting.
so, yeah,
His character
If
automatically.
it's about capitalism, then
his
no.
Yeah, if the character
automatically
doesn't
loses
sell,
for me.
they're trash.
You're telling me the kids aren't rushing to Walmart for the Book of Ashanti replica?
But no, what I'm saying is, so
I have
y'all
3.
know superheroes, y'all read
have 3.
comics. I'm somebody who does not read comics or watch superhero movies, but I've seen
Okay.
an Iron Man movie, I've seen a Captain America movie, I've seen
is-
Black Panther, but I refuse to watch Doctor Strange.
So here's what I'll say. He is a much more minor character in the MCU because all the first phases centered on that original cast. And he is now coming into this second generation
That's
where he's
so
going to be more
true,
prominent.
so true.
So
Yeah,
he'll
the
be
second gen- I
much
can't
more
wait.
But also,
involved.
I
think-
cannot wait.
I think it's also because of how insanely powerful he is.
Oh, absolutely. They
It's kind
sidelined
of like
that
how
guy.
they had to weaken Hulk also.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, if
so
you just
bad.
have
I
him-
love Hulk.
Yeah,
If
it
you just
sucks, though.
have Doctor Strange at full strength, like
all the
a
problems
lot
are,
of the other heroes are
Game
kind of
over.
worthless.
In game.
they're literally worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing I love about Doctor Strange is like all the other characters. Thor kind of starts to like touch into magic, but he's the first character that they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna go full on with magic. Like it's just the thing."
Strange
And
knows more about magic than Loki.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the way that he defeats his villain in the end of his movie.
Stubbornness.
Oh yeah, that seems
Never mind.
awesome.
I refuse to watch those movies.
The end of his movie, he traps this like god in a time loop
Dormammu
where the god
is
is
his name.
murdering him. Yeah, Dormammu. He's murdering him over and over. And so Doctor Strange beats this guy because the guy gets tired of murdering him.
Yes.
That's the way he beats him.
Once again, kind of a
It's like the Rocky
Naruto
Balboa
approach.
yeah.
I love, but it's so different than other movies. I think.
So I will
think
talk
it
about
it was cool.
Man, I love Doctor Strange so much. In the comics, Doctor Strange also takes a backseat in Civil War because he is too powerful. This is like the beginning of when they started to depower this character in the comic books because he was just so strong. So in Civil War, in the comic books, he doesn't take a side between Cap or Tony because he thinks it's not something for him. He's there to protect their reality, their whole dimension.
It's almost like not quite on the same level, but it's almost like a Dr. Manhattan situation.
Correct, yeah.
It's like your consciousness is so far beyond
Correct.
these petty struggles that you can't even bother getting involved.
Yeah, they're worried about the loss of men and Earth, and he's here trying to protect the entire like fabric of reality against, cosmic threats like Shumagorath or Dormammu and things of that sort. And I just feel like they really depower this character in the MCU. Him and the Hulk. It makes me so.
Dude,
just,
Hulk they shit on so
what
hard.
they did with the
So
Hulk.
bad.
Hulk was boo boo
It
in
feels
that
so
last
bad.
movie.
It's really depressing.
In which one? The one
In the
where,
last one,
where he was
yeah.
just like signing
Where's-
autographs
just
and
a
stuff?
little bit.
Yes, it's just a
Oh, I loved
loser.
him.
Yeah, that's
I-
Erica's favorite Hulk.
No,
is
I was
I-
gonna say I feel like
He was living
Oh,
his
God.
best
I've
life.
seen a lot of
he
like
was so
young
happy.
women who love that portrayal because they're like, ooh, it's just like Daddy Hulk, just like smart big dude, and I'm like,
Well, he was
but
he
that's
was
not what
thriving.
Hulk is.
Exactly. I think it's kind of like in quarantine right now. Like when you, or I don't even know if we're in quarantine. I think it's just pandemic now. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think he figured out like, okay, well, like I'm useless, but like the world is useless. I guess he was kind of just like, it is what it is. I'm gonna thrive in this uselessness of my life
Yeah.
and
No,
the
he
world.
did adapt very well.
But I'll
And
say,
he just got, and I think he came to terms with it, and he was so happy. And it's just probably something we all need to take with us.
I
Right now,
viewed it
in
as
this
like
moment.
he lost a fight for the first time ever, and then just gave up. And
pussied
I'm like,
out,
come
yeah.
on, dude, you can't just give up after losing
yeah.
once.
Well, the Hulk's
That's
never
true.
lost before that, so.
let me say something. Even worse than like sleek, smart Hulk is in the Infinity War movie when they just have him in a fucking Iron Man Hulk suit. It's so lame.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a part where the aliens are like attacking, and Thor shows up, and I think the Iron Man helmet comes down, and you see just like a shitty Mark Ruffalo head floating on like the CGI Iron Man Hulk body, and he's like,
The Hulkbuster is what it's called, by the way.
Yeah.
the
Also,
Hulkbuster.
I just don't
It's so
particularly
lame.
like Mark Ruffalo. I think.
Is it because he's
fine.
a
Like, most of
rom-com
them-
actor that's been brought
Yeah.
into an action series?
Like for all
I
of
have no
our
problem
other
with them.
characters, I think the actor choices were very good.
It's
But
because
for
Edward
him,
Norton.
I'm just like, eh.
When you go from Edward, no offense, Mark Ruffalo, I think you're a fine actor, and I'm pretty sure you're a fine person. But I mean, it's just kind of a step down from Edward Norton. In
It's
my
just
opinion.
not. It's just not who I picture when I think of Hulk.
So let's talk. Do we want to talk about Civil War? Because it
Yeah,
involves
Civil
like
War.
basically
So
all the characters.
That can
right?
talk about Captain
Yeah.
America and Iron Man. I think. Let's focus on those two because we haven't talked about them enough yet.
I think that both Captain America and Iron Man are products of capitalism in America. So, however, you think about how differently these two personalities diverge, where one starts by embracing it, right? He's this billionaire type person. The other person is more individual in a sense and focuses on, I don't want to say heroism specifically. It just feels like Steve Rogers was built to be Captain America, or like Captain America's alternate ego is Steve Rogers, much in the way that Batman is Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas Tony Stark, it's more sort of amorphous. He can be either Tony Stark or Iron Man, right? It doesn't really, there's not really much separation between the two except in like, I guess, combat ability.
I feel like in Civil War, he kind of doesn't want to be Iron Man as much as he wants to be a Tony Stark that sort of follows by the rules, which is not really a Tony Stark we're used to seeing. Because I think he's felt bad about everything
He's
that
rocked.
happened. Yeah, I mean, in the first Avengers movie, he's told that, well, you're not a real hero. You're not going to make the hero call. And he takes a missile into space, and he does. Well, what happens is he has PTSD in Iron Man 3. He's scarred by going into space and and it messed him up completely, and it put him in the path of where now he's running into the issues he did in Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah.
And now he's created Ultron because like, well, I don't want none of my people to die, and I keep having these visions where you all do. I will create a suit of armor around the world and keep everyone safe. Unfortunately,
Didn't he see like the army of Thanos? Like that's what he saw through the portal or whatever.
He sees the Chitauri army. Yeah.
Jesus.
And I think like he makes a phone call through Jarvis to Pepper Potts to tell her like Jarvis is like, would you like me to ring Miss Potts? And he goes, might as well. Because he knows that like, well, this is it. Like, I'm not going to make it. He's so far into space that the signal gets lost. So he actually doesn't even get to say his goodbye to her. If that was his end, like, man, what a end. He just so happens to fall back through the wormhole back into Earth and whatever. So by the time we get to Civil War, I feel like he doesn't want to be Iron Man. I feel like maybe he thinks the majority of his mistakes are because he's selfish in Iron Man, that he wants to be he wants to do good through Tony Stark. And that's why he follows most of the rules that General Ross has put in place. He plays, he seems like a corporate stooge if you're Team Cap. But really, what is he trying to do? He's trying to keep everybody safe, and he feels that following these rules, the Accords, is the best way to do that, and that's where the conflict comes from.
So see, here's always my problem with that, though, is that, and I don't know, this might be a problem with the writing of Avengers, is if you're not on Captain America's side, you're probably not on the right side.
That sounds like something Trump would say.
Except in this case, it's like just actually true, which is it's almost like the greatest fault of that character is how he's just always right.
He's always right.
He's always right, and he's not like a smug asshole about it. He just believes what he believes in, and it just is the correct thing. So
I do think in terms of Civil War, I do agree, and in that it's not even like I feel like that's when he starts to shift away from his like all-American boy persona.
Yes.
That's when you start to see him like, you know, the outfit changes, he grows the beard, he gets
absolutely
grittier because he's no longer like enforcing like the law. He's enforcing
what's right,
morality.
Yeah. So he's always
Winter Soldier made that change for him.
Yeah, the thing is about Cap, he's always about what's right, and what's right doesn't always align with what is lawful. Which I think, that happened in the Captain American film, right? Wasn't that in Winter Soldier?
Yeah. He finds out that Hydra has been behind S.H.I.E.L.D. pretty much since the beginning of time.
Correct.
Yeah, he basically sees like government corruption. Like he discovers that things are not what he thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, and to Matt's point, Cap has always seen things as like good or bad, and there's very little gray area in between. Winter Soldier plays all in that gray area. His best friend who he thought was dead is actually an assassin for Hydra, but isn't necessarily a bad guy in his eyes because he feels that he's brainwashed. So, and that kind of bleeds into Civil War, and things get worse before they get better because Cap is loyal to his friend who he loves almost to a fault, because really that's kind of what leads to the things going bad, right?
And to be fair to Iron Man in the MCU version, right? To be fair to to Tony Stark and Iron Man is that he does join up with them at the end.
That's right.
It's not until what's his name gets shot out of the sky and paralyzed that he finally is like fuck that and fights them. Yeah, when what's the Iron Man suit's name? What
War Machine?
War Machine.
War Machine. Yeah. When War Machine gets shot out of the sky and gets paralyzed from it, that's what makes the real conflict at the end, right?
Well, no, the real conflict at the very end is whenever it's revealed that Bucky Barnes was the one who iced his dad and mom.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So
he
shows up,
though, right? That's understandable.
It's understandable, but you know that at this point he was literally mind controlled by the Russian government,
and that conflict is running in parallel with Black Panther at the same time, trying to get vengeance for his dad.
Yeah, what is it again, Brandon? So Black Panther's dad gets killed by Bucky Barnes also?
Correct. Whereas Iron Man isn't able to check his emotions and understand that
Black Panther does.
Black Panther is able to rein himself in. And I don't know if that's a commentary on, like, I don't want to say it is or isn't, but like how much more in control you have to be as, like, I guess, like maybe a black man as opposed to a white man in today's society. But
yeah,
he
because
certainly
whereas
has
Tony Stark can essentially do whatever he wants and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But T'Challa, especially as a world leader, not just a rich inventor or whatever,
CEO,
he has to be. He has to maintain his appearance more.
But I don't even think it's about maintaining
T'Challa
appearance.
wasn't calm, cool, and collective all the way in Civil War.
Yeah, not
when
until
his
the
dad
end.
died. Yeah, it's he realizes it when Tony Stark, when he sees I'm drawing a blank on the villain's name.
Baron
Purple
Zemo?
Mask. Yeah, Zemo. Thank you. I think he has that moment of clarity right then and there. But he, like, for a good chunk of that
he
airport
was just trying
fight
to
scene,
kill.
he wants to kill him. Exactly.
He was shooting
He's
to kill
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And he realizes what Tony should have realized, but at the same time, he's finding out that this man killed his parents, which, it happened however long ago. But the fact that Captain America knew about it and didn't tell him, there's
that
a
part
sense
is
of
a little bit
betrayal.
fucked, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean that's tough. That's tough because
that's a betrayal. Yeah.
And to Cap's point, he apologizes for it through a letter, but he does it. He says that he realizes that I was wrong. I realize that now. I was trying to protect you, but really I was protecting myself.
Well, another thing that speaks to, like, Tony Stark's character is Tony Stark from the beginning, from the first Avengers, he's the lone wolf type of guy who doesn't really want to work with anybody else.
Yeah.
And so for him to sort of trust these other people and fight alongside them, it takes a lot for him to do that. And so then that makes the breaking of trust even harder for those kind of loner people. When their trust gets broken, it's like, I fucking knew it. I shouldn't have trusted anybody.
No,
I
dude,
mean, I should have been by myself.
You're so right, because in Age of Ultron, Maria Hill, who was a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but in Winter Soldier, she gives that up and goes and works for Tony. She goes to Tony and she's like, "Hey, boss." And he goes, "Oh, I'm not the boss. He is." Points to Cap and he says, "I just make everybody look cool by buying their suits or whatever." So it's acknowledged that Cap is the leader.
Yeah.
And that betrayal it has to hit so hard.
I also will say, let's talk about their other movies. I cannot sit through a Captain America movie.
Really?
I can't. They're just too boring to
Winter
me.
Soldier, I
The
think, is
first one is
considered
fest,
like
dude.
what, like either number 1 or number 2 in all of the
Well,
MCU?
Civil War is technically a Captain America
Civil
movie.
War is
I know,
also a
but
Captain
it has
America
all
film.
of them. So it's an ensemble film, I think.
That's his
But
third movie. Compare that to Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is just all Iron Man.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Iron Man 3
I
is
feel
the
the
weakest.
same way. I won't watch a Captain America movie either. But here's the thing: I just don't need 1950s white.
Right.
Like,
right.
here's this what a picture perfect image of a woman
Yeah.
was. Here's the. I don't need
There
that
are some
narrative
aspects
anymore.
of that
so
of his backstory and stuff that are very
Well, that's
bland.
only the first one, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the
it's
first one.
just
The second movie
Yeah.
is already in modern times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the second
Yes.
one's
the
in modern
corruption
Iron
of
Man's
S.H.I.E.L.D.
definitely
and all
better.
that. Yeah.
I'll just say, like, the first Iron Man film launched the MCU. The first Captain America movie, I fell asleep. I literally
I
fell
did
asleep in that
too.
movie. It was so
Not that
boring to
means
me. I don't know why.
the colors of the movie too. I think the Captain America movie, from what I could
It was
remember,
sepia. Like, it was
it was
kind of
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the tone of
It
it,
doesn't
was
seem
hard
authentic.
to visually look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just like hard to look at, and then Iron Man, of course, was like bright
supposed to be
and
like a period
bold
piece.
and like
Like a
Yeah.
period piece.
I'll
Yeah,
agree
it
that the
was
first
not
Captain
for
America is
me.
kind of dud, but I think Winter Soldier might be either my first or second favorite MCU
And
film
Civil
of all
War
time.
is very good, too.
Winter
It's
Soldier
really
is,
good.
is very good.
So, yeah, it really is really good.
I like the idea of Civil War because I like a little bit of drama in the friend group.
Oh,
you know?
for sure, it goes fucking down.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I think that sounds pretty cool, but I
And
will
they
also
bring
refuse to watch
bringing
that.
in Black Panther, Spider-Man, Ant-Man,
yeah, they did
like
a
all
good
these
job of
all
bringing
these
in
other
the
side
characters.
characters was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first time, and you get to see them like square up on each other, which is kind of
Yeah.
Yes.
kind of cool.
Yes.
Because before, like, I think the Avengers movies with just like the main four, I'm not super interested in those, to be honest.
Who, like Thor, Iron Man, Hulk.
I mean, I like those characters, but I'm saying I'm not as interested when it's just the four of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they add the full cast in the later movies, I think it's a lot more interesting.
I love the full roster, dude. I think they also kind of fucked Thanos too in the movies. So in the movies, he says his motivation for snapping people is to equalize the universe and to create prosperity and all the other bullshit. In the comics, the reason he wants to kill half the people is because he's simping for death. Yeah. It's because he's literally in love with Lady Death and wants to like give this to her as a gift, which is, I think that's way better because the snapping
which
people.
one y'all like? Which one y'all like more?
Half of
Oh my
a life
gosh,
makes no sense.
No, it's not better because to be doing it for a girl, that's lame.
No,
to
but
be
imagine
doing it
this.
because you literally want everyone to benefit.
But
that's
imagine this.
Beautiful.
What if
It
I
doesn't
just
benefit
snap
the
my
dead ones,
fingers
though.
and just doubled all the resources?
If he's worried about poverty and food, couldn't he just make
That's what I'm saying. If you're actually trying to improve the universe,
But it is though,
and your solution is to just kill half of all life, like that is such a simplistic.
But I think it's because he knows that we are all inherently selfish. Yes, he could double everything, and then we'll just triple the people. It doesn't matter. We're all selfish. Yes. Oh, you know what? Let's make sure everyone has a house. But again, guess what? The people who have one house are gonna be like, well, we want 2 houses.
Is he like an Orthodox Catholic? Like all humans are born into sin.
About religion.
What I'm saying, so is he worried about the entropic nature of the universe? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he was talking about, like having food for all of the families. There's not enough food, and that's the thing.
Sure.
Say we make more food, people are just going to eat more food. It's not going to be split evenly. That's what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Like all you can eat buffets. It's not like the food's going to the people who need it. It's going to the people who are eating 4 plates instead of the 2.
Okay, so hear me out. Why wouldn't he just keep
outside.
snapping his fingers and just making more food?
Because that's what I'm saying. The more even if he makes more food, it's like a buffet. Then that one person will continue to eat 4 plates versus 2. The food's not going to be spread around.
But I think that's the
But
same
is there a
argument.
problem with that? I guess is my question.
For me,
but that sounds like the people who say like we shouldn't give welfare to the poor because they're just gonna waste it. Like I don't actually believe that.
And I think it's even more definable because they're literally called the Infinity Stones. He can make infinity food, right?
He can. Possibly. That's what I'm saying, though. He could, but it wouldn't matter because we are selfish as humans.
Are you're worried about people like hoarding, like?
Yes, that's what would happen.
She's worried about class systems.
And we've watched it happen with toilet paper, with food. Like, yes, we can with masks, with the gloves. People who didn't need them took them. People who didn't need them took them and sold them. You know what I mean? Why don't you just
snap away capitalism?
Yeah,
it would have been that easy.
That's what he needs to do. There we go.
I don't know.
Because I don't think the whole world, and I especially don't think the whole universe where aliens and shit exist, live like that.
Luis, what do you think? Do you like the comic book Thanos motivation or the MCU?
I was a fan of the comic one just because I was exposed to it longer. He's egotistical in both. Less in the movies, more in the comic book, because he basically starts like challenging himself the more he goes. He's like, look. In the books, he does snap, but they don't dissolve. They just disappear completely. They just go blank off the grid. There's a chart of like, there's like this screen with all the Avengers heads, and literally half of them are missing. Like, well, where are these people? So they're like, the Avengers then decide to go to space and like, well, we can take on him. Well, they can't, and Thanos beats all of them.
Literally cannot, yeah.
Literally cannot. And now that was a brutal, like, he kills so many. He, like, turns Wolverine's bones into, like, liquid. He puts Cyclops' head in, like, a metal glass, so he just suffocates.
I would have loved to see the X-Men in that shit.
Can we?
That would have been great, yeah.
I was hoping for that so hard, like, in Endgame at, like, a crucial moment. Like Wolverine or something would show up. That shit would be so
great.
Cool.
Well, X-Men are going to start.
When that trailer came out and they saw Thanos as like the jaw that has like all the lines in it, they were like, "Oh man, I bet Wolverine gave him those." You know, like people started like fan cast. Yeah.
Going back to capitalism, it really hoed us
on this crossover. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another thing about Captain America I want to talk about.
The Sony, Universal, Fox properties.
Exactly.
Really
it's so stupid.
If they had known what an enormous juggernaut of money this would have turned into, they would never have split up those properties. I guarantee you.
I will say that as far as like we've talked about like good movies, you know, like the Iron Man movies, the Captain America movies. If you want to call, I think you could call Infinity War the Thanos movie. And if that's the case... If that's the case, then I think Thanos has the best movie. I think Infinity War is the best movie.
You hear Jonathan
Do you think so?
For his wife.
I disagree.
I disagree.
For standalone movies, I'm gonna have to give it to Black Panther.
Black Panther standalone. I think you're
Still
right.
not for
I don't
me.
think so.
Iron Man
this
1.
one's the best
My order
one.
definitely goes Winter Soldier, Iron Man 1, probably not even Black Panther. Then probably Doctor Strange, and then Black Panther.
I think this one
think
also had
Iron
the
Man
hype
won
around it.
At the time, like if you consider when it's made, yes. But now, if I'm gonna watch a movie,
you don't think it holds up?
I think we need to respect
it's not.
Iron
It's
Man
not
1.
bad at all. But
it owes us. We owe respect. But
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
that's it.
like seek out to watch Iron Man 1 as much as I would like Black Panther.
I'll watch Black Panther every year.
I watch Winter Soldier once a year too.
Modern.
It's good.
Yeah.
I watched
I'll also watch
Black
Infinity
Panther in my
War.
honeymoon.
That is true.
Yeah, we went to drive-through.
Nice.
Drive-in, sorry.
Here's what I like about Infinity War. You got what, 20-something movies?
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one that ends with the villain just straight up winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Jonathan told me everyone got silent in the theater,
Oh, in the
and I
theater,
was like,
everyone is quiet when
and
you
I
do
was
it.
like,
Oh yeah,
see,
no,
I
it
wish
was an insane ending to a movie.
I wish
for
I
sure.
was. I wish I was there for that moment because I hate the superhero movies where it ends and the superhero is like
High five.
hands on his hips, like smiling. Like this to me, when
Grabs
I
the-
watched it, I seriously I watched it, and I mean, obviously, I wasn't sad, but I was like, oh, like oh my gosh, did that really happen? And I don't feel that way about superhero movies.
it
Like I
left a
don't
different
watch them and
feeling.
have any emotion.
It
Yeah.
hits you different than any of the other
It
movies.
was like
different.
a Game of Thrones finale or something.
is.
Yes, it gave me that. So I think that's why I like Thanos so much because he gave me that.
Erica, tell
he
me
gave
this.
me that feeling.
Yeah. Would you, for any reason, ever throw one of your children off a cliff?
With myself, I would.
Like Thanos did with Gamora.
I would do it with myself.
I mean, in exchange
jump too.
for something, for infinite power.
Oh no, because I don't give a fuck about anybody else. My kids are the only ones I care about. Like I'm not trying to. If they were like,
I don't
it's
understand.
either-
I'm just
if
saying,
they
from
were
that
like,
point of view,
listen,
how can you support this man's who iced his
He
his
killed
only
Gamora,
daughter?
yeah.
because
just kinda fucked, is
this
it not?
different. Because to me, well, okay, so yes, that was his quote unquote daughter, but it wasn't really his daughter. You know what I
close
Oh,
mean?
things
stolen,
ever had.
literally.
Yeah, it wasn't really his daughter. But also, if somebody was like, Erica, the fate of the world is in your hands, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't care.
be able to live
It's not
yourself.
my task. It's not my journey. No, I wouldn't. I'd be able to live with myself because I'd be like, save my 2 kids or save 100 million people. Obviously, I'm just gonna save my 2 kids. I don't care about 100 million other people. You know.
I gotcha.
But in this movie, it's his task. Like it's what he feels passionate about, and I can see that for him, not for me.
It's his
But for-
hobby.
but
it's
for
his hobby.
him.
It's his passion.
Like if
his
it was
hobby.
if it was Brandon's thing, like I'd be like, well, Brandon's doing what he has
Yeah,
to do.
Brandon
Like
wants to kill
like,
half the
like
people.
it's not my kids. It's
We gotta
Brandon.
support our friend Brandon. He wants to kill half the people in the world and the universe.
I mean, okay, Iron Man. He has the most interesting arc to me from the first movie to his final snap. I think he
gets
goes
the-
from being this.
Yeah, see, that's another oof. No,
I like it.
him getting the hero spot again. It's just like I just
Nah, I
am so
loved it.
sick of like these men who are so arrogant getting everything. Like no.
He sacrificed himself for everybody.
He sacrificed himself. Yeah, okay.
No,
yeah,
I see
he's
what
Jesus.
I see what
I
you're
get
saying,
the Jesus
Erica,
complex
because
that he
I feel
has. Like,
I feel the same way for Tony and Thanos. They're two sides of like the same coin.
Absolutely.
Where like they both think like I'm the only one that can do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
very prideful.
So I do understand what you're saying.
that's what I meant about the daddy thing, I think.
Yeah.
Like, not like zaddy, but more like he literally thinks he is someone's
He's
dad.
a hero. He's a hero, you know? That's how they feel.
But they're all heroes.
That's how they all feel. They feel
but
like
they're
all
not as arrogant.
protectors
I
and
don't know. There's
saviors.
something about him that's a little bit more.
Well, wait, that
arrogant.
argument about the daddy, Thanos is literally doing that with Gamora and Nebula.
He's playing our
Yeah.
daddy. He's
Absolutely.
protecting all of
I
us.
guess. Is he protecting us though?
Yeah, he's taking care of the universe. Well, okay, so tell us about Tony Stark. What else do we need to know about him?
He had the most interesting arc to me, where they all had transformations. Where Cap sort of became less of the poster child of America, and he sort of went and became almost like the nomad by the time we get to Infinity War. And Thor goes through a very similar change as well. I just think Iron Man had a more interesting one where he's the billionaire, philanthropist, whatever. He tries to do good. When he does try to do good, it affects him emotionally, personally, professionally, and it leaves him in really interesting places where he's like, wow, no matter what I try to do, and that's the flaw of a hero. Something bad is going to come of it eventually.
Yeah.
And how he deals with that is just very interesting to me. Also, he's funny. Like,
You're saying his failure makes him a more
he is
interesting
funny.
character.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That makes sense.
He's pretty good to cut the tension with with some sometimes corny, but sometimes actually legitimately funny comments.
I really want to say y'all have done such a great job at convincing me of who to pick, because at the beginning of this, I was like, I don't know who I'm going to pick. I knew who I wasn't going to pick, but I didn't know who I was going to pick. And now as we come towards the end, I'm like, I'm picking somebody that I didn't expect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so good job convincing everybody.
Okay. What about Captain America besides Civil War? Because the only thing I've ever liked him in is Civil War. So
really?
Is there anything else? Yeah, is there something else I should like about him?
Here's my thing about Captain America. And this is something I truly believe about this character. And it also extends to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that Captain America is the very perfect and idealized version of the America that we wished America could become or could be. Does that make sense? So
America is not happy.
In the first, and it all does seem very whitewashed and like masculine and things like that, but just bear with me for a second. In the first movie, even if you think about all the things that they try and make him do, like literally as a poster child, right? And we're talking about the American military complex and things like that. They want him not even as like a functional soldier, but just like a man going out for show and things like that.
And
but it's more about him realizing that all these things that the American government wants for him, right, or are trying to get from him, are not the things that he believes that America actually is about. And so it's not until he goes away on his own and he what does he do? I think he was given orders, like he hears that Bucky, right? Yeah. Or his unit was captured by like Nazis or something. So he just goes and gets them. Because at that point,
it's the first time he sees Red Skull.
Yeah, exactly. He goes against his orders. He was told not to go, and he goes out and does the thing that he thinks needs to be done. And then I think that is just continued, right? We have the most smallest iteration of that, which is in the first one, Captain America. And I do think it's kind of lame that he always has to sacrifice himself as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's a very like easy cop out. I don't, like I said, I've talked about how I don't really care about sacrificing yourself at the end of like a plot or a film or a series of episodes. It doesn't do anything for me. Kind of like Ed in Full Metal Alchemist. I don't give a shit about it. It doesn't make it better for me.
Except your favorite book or the best book. I can't remember which one it is.
Which one is that?
The Bible.
Well, he comes back to life.
He sacrifice himself in the end. Yeah, that's in the middle. Right?
He sacrificed himself.
I mean, he does kind of, but when you know you're gonna res in like 3 days, I mean, it's kind of like I think that's more about the processes of magic necessary.
That was more like a Doctor Strange sacrifice.
I gotcha.
Correct.
He knew he was coming back, and it had to be the way.
He still had to endure the pain and the humiliation and the punishment, but he knew the end result.
You're saying that Doctor Strange is the most like Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but yeah.
He's the most like Jesus. Tony Stark has the biggest Jesus complex.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, okay. That man put himself on a cross. But I also, I just loved how in every progressive Captain America movie, it's just more of just him taking his own ideals, which are always perfect. They're always the correct ones. They're always the ethically and morally perfect examples of what you should do as a superhero. Yeah. And I like that because, I don't know, I'm just... we are tired of just whitewashed, like strong-jawed heroes. But at the same time, we're also in this period of revolution where we have a bunch of like anti-hero characters, like your Deadpools, your Punishers, and things like that.
No,
which is fine.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
Matt, I agree with all that, and I really like. I think everything you're saying is great, and I really do dig it.
I do too.
And there was a time when I hated Captain America, and you made me feel a lot better about him through our conversations. Still, my biggest problem, the fact that he is who he is, like you said, just always morally good, and he wears the red, white, and blue, I just can't stomach it.
Well, it's just the costume.
I know, but it upsets me because it's like, even though what you're saying, he represents America and like there's nuance to that, I would say the average person doesn't get that and they just think like, yeah, America's always right.
Yeah,
Captain
USA.
America's always right. You know?
No.
But the thing is, he's not, even in like Civil War, Infinity War, that is not who he is. He says, you're going to try and put these laws and things that I don't think are correct upon me. I'm not going to stand for that because it's
not. But I know what you're saying, John. It's the like same way that like...
Yes, you're about to say it. I know.
That rednecks with guns like to wear the Punisher logo, even though
Punisher. Yes.
They don't understand him.
Exactly.
So you're saying it's just the public perception of this character. I think he's got a lot of nuance and like complexity that's hidden behind just a very a stale and old concept. I think he's actually very interesting.
Well, and it was cool when he gave his shield to that other guy.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I guess he does give up the red, white, and blue at the
He's
end.
got some of the best scenes in Endgame.
Yeah.
Just for sure.
Oh, dude,
See,
Cap
Endgame's
picking up
so
the
good.
hammer.
When he hammers down on Thanos.
That's so good.
And also, whenever it's just him, just fucking beat the fuck up, and he squares up on that whole army, I'd fucking suck that dude's dick, dude. I swear on God. That shit was so good.
Do you like him with a beard? Erica, I think you said you did not like him.
You know what, though? I was just looking at pictures of him with the beard, though, and I'm like, no, he could get it.
Yeah,
no,
the
I
scruffy
like
look
both.
is good.
I like both.
With the beard, yes. Without the beard, no.
I think without the beard, I don't care for him, but I like the beard. I think it looks good with the beard.
That's what I was saying. Like, he starts off as like, you know, the clean cut all American boy, but then he becomes more like rugged freedom fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what I love about Captain America is even before he became Captain America, even as Steve Rogers, that was still the same person, like inside of him. You know what I'm saying?
The scene in the first movie where he dives on the grenade.
Yeah,
that's like what sells them on him being the right one.
That is him, and also when he stands up to bullies, despite them being
like he was a scrawny dude, but he was still willing to protect everyone around him at any cost.
I do love? I think actually that is one of my favorite relationships throughout the Avengers movies is him and Robert Downey Jr. Just how lame he is and how Robert Downey Jr. makes fun of him the whole time.
Yeah,
like
because Tony Stark is the cool guy.
Yeah, he just makes fun of him. It's so good. And most of the time, Captain America is just like doesn't even get it. It just goes right over his head.
And in the books, I think. If I recall correctly, Captain America is the one who stops the Civil War because he realizes that that Tony will never back down.
Right. And this has gone too far.
Yeah, they're in a battle. People are dying. Like their friends and their companions are dying fighting each other. He says, "No, we have to stop. Like we're done. I've lost."
People are dying because of their egos?
The superheroes.
See, don't you think that's more ridiculous? Like than just random deaths? These are people you're friends with and they're dying because of your ego? What is that?
Well, to be fair, that'd be Cap. So the problem with that
is... This is why Wakanda doesn't get involved in these petty affairs.
So true. Wakanda's so classy.
Yes, they're like, ooh, y'all are messy. I'm going to stay over here.
Sorry for the interruption, folks. This is John here. I just wanted to say that I've looked into the future and seen 15 trillion different outcomes. And what you're about to hear is the only one in which we pick the best character of the MCU. There's only 20 minutes left. We're in the end game now. Anyway, before we do honorable mentions, Bran, do you want to say one last thing about Black Panther?
I was going to say, Matt, we were talking about the Black Panther animated series. And at the beginning of that, it shows...
beats the shit out of Captain America?
Yeah, T'Challa's grandpa fights Captain during World War II.
Correct.
But then when he beats him, he like helps him back up and tells him, I can tell one day you will be to your country what the Black Panther is to Wakanda.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they do. Yeah, they do have a lot of similarities.
Black Panther and
they're both like their people's champion.
Yeah,
it's true.
And they're the ones that are supposed to inspire hope to like their community and their country. But like we have multiple all-American heroes.
Yeah, that's true.
And Cap is probably the most interesting one. But to have that type of character for not just the Black community, but like actually in Africa,
yes,
I think it's just more interesting because it's so rare in comic books.
I also just love Wakanda. True. It's what would happen if, we had a group of Africans that were uninterrupted by the meddling of colonial whites from Europe, but also with access to the rarest and most valuable minerals and vibranium or whatever that could accelerate your technology. And then this is their idea of what could happen.
And they say that also in that show, there's like basically a UN meeting and all the top powers are asking Wakanda to buy their technology. And they say it's not for sale. And you could have developed this yourself if you weren't so worried about profit and war.
Yeah.
Damn,
bro. I think it's just a really awesome depiction.
Another thing I love about Black Panther, and I could be overstepping, I don't know exactly the complete comic book origin and how pure it was, but I feel like there are other black heroes, and Brandon, you talked about this, like stereotypes that they lean into some stereotypes and stuff.
Like who? Storm?
I feel like I don't maybe not even Storm. I think Storm's actually pretty well done too. But
Who would you say
I
then?
think that
Like Luke Cage or?
maybe Luke Cage. He does kind of have like a jive turkey, you know, kind of thing. Like he does that stuff, which I mean, I guess
Well,
those
he's
people
from
might have
Harlem.
existed. Yeah, he's from Harlem. I understand. So those people might have existed. But I think what I'm saying is, to me, Black Panther, I do see some things that like studios will put out, and it feels very much like
Engineered?
token. It feels very much tokenism, and
Yeah.
it feels very much like what's the word? Pandering. It feels very pandering. And to me, Black Panther, I think it's because it was written, directed, acted, music, all by, you know, black performers and directors and stuff. I think it feels, to me, it doesn't feel token. It feels like legitimate. And it's not even, we talked about his blackness and his representation and stuff like that. But I think, forget about all that. On his own, without any of that stuff, I think he's still top 5, like still amazing.
I love that character. Also, you forgot to
That's
mention
what
he's a
I'm
member
saying.
of the
on
Illuminati.
his own,
so-
he's still very cool, and I think in some ways, to me, he's like analogous to Batman.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the
he's
same
way cooler than
person.
Batman, in my opinion.
He doesn't have the same personality,
Huh.
but in terms of like hyper intelligent, sort of
Top 10
dark
geniuses.
dark clad, extremely skilled at martial arts with advanced technology and super rich.
Yeah.
There's some similarities. So just in terms of character design and like combat, he's still just very cool.
I also
think
feel
so,
like
yeah.
we
I
don't
think-
give credit enough for the whole like king thing. Because that man actually legit just runs the whole country. He's also the high priest of their religion. Because the Black
How many
Panther
kings?
is the...
How many kings are fighting for their country on the battlefield? You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah,
pretty
that's
cool
also
too.
one thing I think is really cool. I don't know. Yeah. He's a member of the Illuminati along with Doctor Strange. Just
So characters we didn't choose. Thor.
I love Thor.
I love
think,
Thor.
I think that what is it? Is it God of Thunder? What was the last movie that they made?
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok. Ragnarok is one of the best. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
top.
So I think
it's
at
top
first
3
Thor
movies.
was kind of boring to
Yeah,
me.
no.
boring. Yeah,
Yeah.
boring.
First 2 Thor movies,
But after
ass.
Ragnarok, that character became amazing.
The direction they headed with him is much, much more awesome.
I think that's one of the most rewatchable MCU movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we had too much seriousness, and I think that's why
Yes.
I was saying I didn't enjoy the original 4 that much.
Yes.
Like Guardians 1 was so good. When that shit came out, it was like so different.
Oh,
from...
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians
yeah.
1 was so good.
I think my favorite character on that is either Drax or Gamora.
I like the whole
But
cast.
you know what? Fucking yeah, Rocket Raccoon and Groot are also
Yeah.
badass.
I
I just don't
love
like Star
Rocket.
Lord. Star Lord's so annoying.
What other honorable mentions?
Well, okay, we said Hulk. We didn't like the way Hulk
Bucky
got done.
Barnes as the Winter Soldier is pretty good.
Bucky Barnes is the toy that we have. Eric is like, who? The kids have a toy of Bucky Barnes. From where do they get that from? McDonald's. Or some
McDonald's
shit?
was
Yeah.
I love Ant-Man.
Olivia has one.
Ant-Man.
I
Paul Rudd
love
is
Paul
Ant-Man.
Rudd as Ant-Man. It's
You
so
know what's
good.
sad? I've
I do
never
too.
seen an Ant-Man movie,
I'm
so I don't
actually
even know.
so
I haven't seen the
glad.
second one, but the first one is good.
I'm
Okay, I'll
so
check it.
glad they
I will check
went
it out.
with
Second one's fun.
Paul
Scott
Rudd.
Lang instead of Hank Pym. In terms of
Which is the older guy?
yeah, Hank Pym is the original
Yeah.
Ant-Man. And he was the original leader of the Avengers actually. Before
Oh,
Cap
shit.
was
I
even
didn't
part of
know
it.
that.
But I guess I just like Paul Rudd, so it's not even like
Okay,
he could
who
be.
do I? We already said fucking Hawkeye. We don't care for fucking
I like
Black Widow.
Hawkeye.
Get out of my movies, Black Widow. I don't care.
I
don't
I was
care.
gonna jokingly say that
I don't
want to
see a standalone film of Black Widow.
So-
Is there one?
There's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
I don't know
It's
if
supposed to
feel
come
the
out.
same.
I thought
my
she was
lack of
canceled.
interest
It's a
is due to my association of that character with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's is problematic. That's
I don't
everything,
even. I
too.
just don't. She just says stuff that I don't agree with sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. She's problematic.
Well,
Well,
I,
just
I felt
taking
like a
roles
lot of
from
Hollywood
whatever.
canceled her. Like though,
Yeah. She's still gonna be making money.
You're
in
saying
movies.
you don't want to see her as
an Asian woman.
Agent Kusanagi in Ghost in the
Yeah,
Shell?
I just. Are there literally no Asian women of talent that they could have
Dude,
cast?
I love this
Surely
shit.
That
not.
seems
One
it seems a
hundred
It's a
little
little far
wild.
fetched, right? I
Is
have
it
to imagine they
Komiko?
could have found someone, but
Komiko
whatever.
in The Boys, very good.
Oh
Right, her
yeah.
name's Komiko. She's very good.
Have you heard her in real life?
No. What does she sound like?
You know, like the Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've
Yeah,
never
sure.
seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's
Oh,
a
it's
similar
good.
situation where in real life she just has like a Valley Girl voice.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
It's very jarring to hear for like the first time.
Oh, shit. Valkyrie, the chick who plays
Valkyrie's
Valkyrie.
good.
She's
I was going to say,
in,
is it Kate
Oh yeah,
Blanchett, right?
Valkyrie's dope.
Who
She's very
plays-
cool.
I like
Tessa
Korg.
Thompson.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson.
Oh, Korg is cool.
What are some other villains to compare to
Well,
Thanos?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess we have
Killmonger's
to
great.
kind of bring up Loki, right? Like,
Oh, we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even talk about
I don't
Tom.
necessarily.
Loki is overrated in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm not really that cool with Loki.
I feel
don't
like
care.
everyone loves that dude.
I don't
I
care
just
about
don't
Loki.
see
good.
it.
No, Loki's good.
I think he's just okay.
He's
He's
comedic
fine.
relief.
I think
He's
that's
fine.
like
But
the
that's not
love
what
of
I
Tom
want out of my
Hiddleston
villain.
overtook the love of Loki, I think.
But Tom Hiddleston
I don't
is
even
also
think he's
just okay.
I don't know. He's too campy to be like that type of villain. He's God of trickery, right?
You know what though? I do love his moment in Infinity Wars when he gets killed by Thanos when he comes to betray Thanos and
Dude, that shit
gets killed
sucks
by
when
him.
your homie just
That's a
gets
pretty dope
eyes.
moment.
Yeah.
And talking about Thor being boring and we like Ragnarok, I love Thor in Infinity Wars because he's literally a person who has nothing left to lose. He's
Yeah.
lost his homeland, he's lost his family, and he's like, fuck it, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
kill this
Thor's
bitch.
arc is awesome.
He's got
Yeah.
a cool arc in that.
Also, just canonically, one of the most powerful Avengers, if not the most powerful Avenger.
Oh, when he goes lightning mode in
Oh, man, so
Thor
cool.
Ragnarok, that shit is so dope.
Insane. With that
I
whole
mean,
line
even
of
in
zombies,
Infinity
like
War-
World War Z style.
Yeah, when he has a Stormbreaker and he's going right at
Yes.
Thanos with the gauntlet,
Yes.
he cuts through it, and that's how he's able to actually damage Thanos right in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to help us talk about characters, I'm looking at the social media right now.
Oh yeah.
And
Any fan submissions?
just a few. So the first person on there is a person named Miami Blue. Miami with two I's at the end and then BLU. And she says Groot because he's effortless.
That's cute.
She said Groot because he's effortless.
I do love Groot.
I love Groot in the opening scene to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and he's just dancing around Baby Groot,
Yeah.
like dancing. That's such a good scene.
I thought we were talking about. I liked even Teenage Groot.
Teenage
Just
Groot,
a
all of it's
giant
great.
piece of shit, but he breaks off his own arm to make the fucking handle for
Yeah,
a Stormbreaker.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think we
just
can.
badass.
I think we can all agree that Vin Diesel is the best actor in the
Well,
world.
Andy,
right?
he sacrificed himself at the end of the first movie.
Yeah,
Now-
he does.
From what I understand, Vin Diesel recorded "I Am Groot" in multiple languages for the redubbings of those movies whenever
That's what I'm
released
saying. Vin
internationally.
Diesel deserves an Oscar.
How long do you think that man was in the booth for?
He probably did
I
16
Am
takes of
Groot.
each.
I get behind that.
Mac 36, who was on our Community and Futurama episodes, Mr. Jeff Mack, he said Ant-Man and Lewis.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Lewis. Very awesome
mean,
side
Lewis.
character from the Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's pretty funny.
What is he? I've never seen the movies, like I said.
In the van when he's explaining everything that's happened since Ant-Man's been in prison this whole time, and he tells like, "Yeah, I lost my job. Girlfriend broke up with me. Oh, and my mom died." And Ant-Man's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "But I got the van."
And when he
God
gets
dang it.
truth serumed, whenever that man tells a story, it's just gripping.
It's so
It's-
good.
and I guess the Ant-Man films are a little more lighthearted than the other ones, so it very well fits the theme. I love that character. Good
I
flavor.
have to watch those movies.
I suggest the Ant-Man films. They're quite good.
Yeah, they're funny. They're definitely a good break from what the MCU can be.
May Doza,
Who's that?
Who is Luis? How do you feel about? Should we share your relationship? You want to keep that a secret, don't you?
I don't know. She sounds hot. I don't know.
Yes, Luis's wife, mother of his child.
She's also been on.
She was on our Disney Villains, our finale. Well, not our best of the best finale, but the last episode that we chose a
Gilmore
character.
Girls.
Gilmore Girls
She was also on Gilmore Girls
And X-Men.
and
Disney villains.
Okay, it's her show. This is her show.
and
This
she
is
was
actually
on.
her show.
It's also already going to air before this one. She's on the Degrassi episode too.
Hey, wait a minute. This is like my second episode. What the hell?
Yeah, you've been on X-Men. We want you on more, but
But
there's
what,
only
huh?
so many things.
I told you, you're a superhero guy.
All right, let's get back to these mentions. May Doza, what did she say?
Oh yeah,
Alright,
what did
so-
Meadows say?
So Mendoza said Thanos, he had a goal, he made a plan, executed his plan, and remained true to himself. He said it wasn't personal.
Okay.
Oh,
What's
wait,
what's up with y'all's wives supporting
know, it's-
Thanos,
I need to
bro?
read that
Supporting a
sentence.
mass fucking genocide murderer.
Seriously.
It's actually
I
fun.
read-
Psychos.
I know how Megan meant that last sentence. I read it wrong, so I'm going to say it again. He said it wasn't personal. That's how she meant it.
Oh, okay.
And then I said, Erica will appreciate this. And then she said,
No, then you said.
and then I said, what do you think about his zaddy status? She said, top 5 for sure. Then she said it goes Thor, hybrid of Hulk and Banner, Thanos.
God.
She said Thanos. Then she said Killmonger. Then she said M'Baku. Now we need to talk about M'Baku.
Oh, we can talk about him.
Oh yeah.
From This Is Us, or not
I
from This
don't
Is Us,
know.
from
it's
Us.
Kind, it's kind
God
of
dang it,
too
it's
late
Us.
in the night to talk about him because I don't know. I don't want this to turn into a sexual podcast where
Why
everybody's
not?
really
I
aroused.
want it to turn into a sexual podcast.
Can we just say there's not I don't think there's enough ladies in the MCU.
That's true.
I mean, yeah.
Because
I mean,
you
the
got
ones
that top
they do have
top
are
5
like,
list of zaddies, but I don't think I can make a top 5.
I cannot. Well,
I
list for
honestly
ladies.
couldn't, and
You know what?
obviously I'm like just as obsessed with women, if not more in love with women than I am men. But I
but you
would
have
say
Michonne in the Black Panther movie,
they don't really have as much like.
But
I
they're
guess,
minor.
screen time.
They're more
Yeah.
minor.
and what's her name?
We said Valkyrie.
Lupita Nyong'o.
She's pretty
and
cool.
I love Valkyrie.
What's her name?
I mean,
plays a pretty prominent
would have
role
to
in
see the Thor
Ant-Man
movies.
2.
Oh, she's
Kate from
Ghost, right?
Lost.
Kate from Lost. Yeah. That's
I guess
how we know
Captain
her.
Marvel is.
But Captain Marvel's, I honestly,
Boring.
She's the only
Eric
one
and I
with her
tried to
own
watch that movie
boring.
too, and we thought it was
That
boring.
movie
So
started
boring.
like it was already like that movie started like you were in the middle of a movie, and I was like, wait, what's happening? Like I was like, did the movie? Do we need to rewind it? And we both were like, yeah, something's missing. No, that's just how the movie
It starts like
I didn't
in
even watch
space,
that
like
one.
fighting. It's not. It's boring.
But M'Baku.
Okay, let's talk about this man.
Yeah.
So first of all, I think what is he like?
He helps Black
7
Panther
feet
in the
tall?
movie.
That
after,
dude looks enormous.
Yeah.
He have y'all seen Us?
Yes.
Have you seen his thighs in that movie?
Just his thighs.
Yeah, no, his thighs are
well, there's a
full
scene where he
view.
wears like a shorts, like boxers. I guess he is 6'5", y'all.
Winston Duke.
I feel like I've seen him in a couple things, but
You know what I love about him in that movie is they set him up to be sort of like
an antagonist.
maybe he's like a villain in the movie in Black Panther, but then by the end, it shows that really he is like more to the heart of what like he's there for the people. You know what I'm saying? Like he's challenging Black Panther, but it's because he understands that Black Panther and Wakanda has sort of lost its way.
Yeah, I think they have like a rivalry, but
But it's
still,
respect.
when you have someone from the outside coming to take over Wakanda, you're still gonna team up.
Oh, you know what I was reading? I was reading that like Benedict Cumberbatch, for whatever reason, like had the most intense workout and diet regimen of like any of the Avengers.
What?
Why? That man's in a
don't-
robe the
I
whole
didn't even
time.
see
know,
that man's
but-
body a single time. Were they trying to do some sort of shirtless reveal and it just never made it post production?
I don't know.
No, it's
Hopefully
like
next
how Chris
one.
Pratt did all that working out for that one shot, the
For
mug
Star-Lord,
shot
yeah.
in Guardians 1, and then they said, Guardians 2, it's not happening, dude. They said it's too much work. But I appreciate that about that. They made it into a joke and then they just moved on. Like,
Okay, let's try to do categories quicker than we've ever done them.
Sure.
I think Luis is right. I think Tony Stark has, from beginning to end, I think the best arc.
Yeah,
what do y'all think?
Tony and Cap have just a lot more content.
correct. There's the.
I give it
Yeah.
to Tony on that. I'm just saying, I think Tony goes through more.
I
He's
think.
not as static. He's not as static as
So
Captain
here's what I
America.
would say about that. Well, Captain America is supposed to be the tree that plants itself
Stoic.
by the river
Stoic,
of truth
yeah.
and justice. So he doesn't change. But
Yeah.
I would argue that it's not even that Tony Stark changes; it's that the plot morphs around so that way. I don't think he really is too much different from the beginning to the end. But it's just who he is fulfills that exact puzzle piece that needs to be
I
in
don't
order
know.
to make that sacrifice.
I would argue every movie Tony Stark is dealing with the previous movie. Like he's dealing with the previous one. I think that's what I see.
I mean, does he really change though at all?
Yeah, I think he
Is
I
he
think
ever
he's constantly-
repentant about the things that he's done? It doesn't really
Yes.
feel like it.
He's
I think
constantly
he
trying.
does, yeah.
His character is so informed by the mistakes he made before. I think. And
I
love
feel
that.
like he
I
does a
love
lot
that.
of blame placing though.
He blames himself.
He definitely blames Cap a lot too.
That's true. That's true. He does have a, but and you got to wonder like how much of that is him actually blaming Cap for Cap's actions, or is he still holding on to that resentment for
Yes.
the death of his parents.
I guess that's true.
Well, here's what I like about Robert Downey Jr. or not Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark, is that he is a problem solver, and so anytime a problem happens that he can't solve, it eats at him. And I feel that same way. It's like a control freak sort of personality type, like for real. And when you can't succeed at something, I mean, you guys see me. I'm trying to film a fucking John Gets Lit, and I will not give up no matter what problem comes in my face.
I actually hate that most about it.
I know you do. I know, but
Yeah, honestly, I don't admire that trait.
I know, but I'm saying I sympathize with Tony Stark because he gets captured by these extremists and heart condition, all this stuff, could have given up, but he builds his way out of it. He solves that problem. And so whenever he can't solve problems, it eats at him and it causes him to be like dwelling on it in the next film. Whereas like other characters, I feel like instead of like being more proactive, they are more like reactive to what happens in the films. Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit about what you said, or sorry to sidetrack, going back to Tony Stark, Erica, about how he thinks he's like the daddy of the whole group. I wonder if that's because his like dad was also like absent and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Howard Stark was just
probably,
just the effects of having like an absentee father that's also a genius that has high expectations of you.
Yep.
But I think if we're talking about single film, I think in a single film, I like the Black Panther and Doctor Strange. The way that they lose themselves and then gain themselves back and learn something I love that. And I think.
Do you think Doctor Strange really learned something about himself?
I think Doctor Strange grows, but I don't think he learns as much as Black Panther does. I think right.
Doctor Strange is just still an arrogant, hyper-intelligent piece of shit at the end of the film. He just learns magic.
I love that about him. I think he becomes more understanding and more calm than he is at the beginning, like more peaceful and at peace with reality and stuff like that.
I can get behind that.
I like Black Panther. I think
that one thing you could say about his evolution in the film is how he went from being a totally selfish person to being selfless. Exactly. I can get behind that. Exactly. But I don't know if any of the other stuff really, checks with me.
All right. Well, then, like I said, I'm willing to say I think Tony Stark best arc, but then I think Black Panther best single movie arc.
In terms of how their stories ended and just wrapping everything up, I love how Steve Rogers got his in the end. He got to do everything. He got to save not just America, but the universe. And then he also got to just live his full life when he went back to return the...
I do like how he's just gives it up. I do kind of like that.
Yeah, see, I think that's what I like about him more than Iron Man, is I don't think Tony would have been able to do that.
Tony can't. He
can't give it... He can't be like, okay, I've accomplished my goal. I can hand over the mantle.
Yeah.
What are some other categories we've got?
The other thing, aesthetic. Who do we think looks the coolest?
Captain America?
No.
I'm going to go with Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Iron Man's got cool variations. He's got cool variations.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's got so many.
I love Mark.
Mark 1's really cool.
Yeah, I do like the variation. How he's always improving upon the suit.
Yeah.
Or when he just brings out like fucking 30.
How about when he's just a fucking race car driver in Iron Man 2?
Oh, the suitcase suit? That's
Also, when the suit has to fly across the country.
Yes. I like when he just has one piece and he's got to stall the villain for a second so we can get the rest of them.
Just the repulsor? I will say that I think the costuming of Black Panther was pretty top notch. And I'm talking about T'Challa in traditional Wakandan just robes and sandals.
Oh, I mean, that's also clean.
Yeah, it's crispy.
In the spirit world or whatever.
Uh-huh. They keep it fresh there, dog. I actually really like Fat Thor in Endgame because
Fat Thor.
It's sort of his costume also harkens back to the OG Thor outfits.
It's the dude.
He's just like a giant Viking warrior.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's badass.
Dual wielding Stormbreaker and fucking Mjolnir.
So dope.
So fucking badass.
Also like the Iron Spider suit.
Iron Spider's cool.
You know what I'm gonna say about Spider-Man? I think that he is done completely wrong in the MCU. I don't like him. I don't like Iron Man Spider-Man. He's Iron Man. He's not even Spider-Man. He's just Iron Man. He has an Iron Man suit.
Well, he's Iron Man light.
That's what I'm saying. He's not even Spider-Man. He's just Iron Man sidekick.
I think he is very, very Spider-Man.
It's a different depiction for sure, but I still like it.
Yeah, in the airport terminal fight, he just does a lot of web slinging and stuff like that. No, that's really cool.
He literally doesn't even have to try. Like when that spaceship is going off, his suit does everything for him. It's lame.
And
is what it is, man.
Like in Far From Home, he's just a dude in a black suit.
in like a sweatshirt and a
Yeah,
ski
because
mask.
he's traveling, doesn't have a suit.
Yeah.
Even then, Tony Stark's dead, and the whole movie is about Tony
About
Stark,
Tony Stark,
and
yeah,
a guy
moving
that pissed off.
No,
Tony
there is a very strong focus on
like,
their
can we just have a
relationship.
Spider-Man movie?
That's true. Well, what other characters do I like? I really like Captain
Well,
America.
hold on. Aesthetic. I think.
Once, like I said, I think OG Cap is kind of corny,
Oh yeah.
but I like the progression of his look.
I love like I said, whenever he's close to like Nomad with the like sharper shields and the scruff and stuff.
Yeah.
I love it when he, like I said, when he picks up Mjolnir in Endgame. So fucking
No, that
awesome.
shit is so dope.
His alternate suit in Winter Soldier is really cool too. That
Yes.
Secret Soldier one. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I love. He's got actually a bunch of different suits.
Or
Yeah.
when he's fighting in Wakanda.
Yes.
yes, get this man a shield.
Yes.
Yes, it's so good.
Very cool.
But yeah,
Um,
I'd say I still prefer Captain America's outfit, but I'm very
Erica
biased.
Erica and I say Black Panther. And I think, Bran, are you still leaning Black Panther for
Yeah,
aesthetics?
for sure.
All right. I think humor is a huge part of the MCU. So who is the most funny or quippy? Like, who's the best character for those little jokes? Like,
Thor.
Is it Thor? Is it Ant-Man? Is it Tony Stark?
No. Tony
I'd say
Stark's-
Thor and Ant-Man are
Yeah.
funnier than any of our
Star-Lord?
characters.
I think Tony Stark's. Oh, Star-Lord is funny because he's so fucking
But
stupid.
here's the thing. Do you
Yeah,
think Tony Stark is
yeah,
funny?
I
Star-Lord
feel like
is pretty
Star-Lord
good.
is like my
Tony
least
Stark.
favorite of the Guardians.
No, I just like the little jokes he makes about, like,
But you like them. I don't think Tony Stark is funny.
Okay.
I think he's got that like arrogance that's not funny to me.
I gotcha.
Just
Yeah.
mean spirited. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I
Not
don't like
necessarily
the
mean-spirited,
cocky
it's just
humor
the
as much as
cocky.
I like the
Right.
lighthearted humor of
Same.
like Thor's humor is more innocent.
I do like
Yeah.
Thor's silliness.
Thor's probably funniest, I would say.
I think,
But nobody selected Thor,
Ragnarok's
so-
so good.
Yeah, it's true.
But we could say, yeah, I guess out of
We're
our
all gonna vote
characters-
for Thor, actually. So
I'll say there's a lot of humor built around Captain America, where he's the object or the like.
Yes.
the butt
He's the
end
butt
of
of a
jokes,
joke.
and he takes him
Yeah.
very well and gracefully because
you know.
yeah, there
who-
is
He
the
really
banter
does.
between Tony and Cap, like you
Can
said
I
before.
can I say something though? Yes, Tony Stark usually gets the better of people with his like cocky arrogance and like quips and stuff like that. He usually comes off better. You know who fucking owns him every time though? Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Every time he's with Doctor Strange, he makes his quips, and Doctor Strange always owns
Because
him.
Doctor Strange is just as smart as him.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're both
If not
genius egomaniacs.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
Correct.
but Doctor Strange, he's like I said, he chills out once he becomes Sorcerer Supreme. I think.
Once you have access to an unlimited reserve of magical
Yeah.
power as well
I
as
think-
wielding one of the Infinity Stones, yeah, you can chill out a bit after that.
I think he literally calls Tony Stark he's like, you're an arrogant prick or something like that. Like in the movie, he's like, you're an arrogant asshole or something.
No, for sure.
What
All right.
about
And
Wanda
it's so-
and Vision?
Oh yeah, WandaVision looks kind of interesting actually.
Whatever.
Though. And I didn't think it was gonna be, but we watched the trailer and I'm like, oh, that looks
Sorry,
kind of
before we
interesting.
move on from humor, I'm so. This goes back to how I think that the MCU just fucks Spider-Man. Dude, Spider-Man is supposed to be just like the
lame.
fucking one-liner machine while he's fighting,
Nah, he's
but
lame in
his
these
jokes
movies.
are just so shitty in the MCU,
He's
dude.
a little wuss. I don't like him.
They just keep like pushing like oh, look at all these old movies I've seen. Ooh, very
I
funny.
can't stand it. I can't stand it. Yeah,
It's just upsetting, dude.
it really
Don't worry,
is.
bro. They're gonna bring back our boy Toby in the next movie.
Toby,
so-
Andrew Garfield, and fucking Tom Holland in the same Spider-Man movie, dude.
I like the Andrew Garfield and Miles Morales animated one. I think those are the best Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Verse is by far the
Oh,
best.
Spider-Verse
Yeah.
is the best.
But-
Spider-Verse is better than
Besides
most
that,
movies.
then
Yeah.
it's got to be Toby.
Then it's Spider-Man
1.
3, then Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 1, bro.
Spider-Man 3 is so good, dude. Oh my god, I
It
love
really
this shit.
isn't though.
I love Spider-Man 3 so
No, but you can't deny it. In the same way that you say that Iron Man started all of this, Spider-Man 1
Spider-Man
is like
did.
one of the
It
earliest
actually, yeah.
modern
Spider-Man-
superhero movies.
Spider-Man
I
and
agree with you.
X-Men.
I love the first Spider-Man movie. It's just Spider-Man 3 would.
Spider-Man 3 is
No,
so
3 they
memorable.
ruined it.
No, the thing about
With
3 is you remember the whole
emo
film.
Spider-Man is so bad.
You remember
it-
everything about Spider-Man 3 because it's just so juicy. Everything
But
about it is so
Spider-Man
fun.
1
No.
Green Goblin, super
he
good.
hits Mary Jane.
dude.
You are no
Dude,
longer
I
a hero in my
hate
eyes
when he goes
you hit
emo
Mary
mode.
Jane.
But all fucking
such an
swag out on
asshole.
the sidewalk.
And even worse than domestic abuse, he dances.
Oh god, it's so bad. I love it.
Awfully.
I love the scenes where he's just eating fucking cookies in the hallway on the phone. It's just everything is so bad about that film. I hate it. Yes. What are the categories we have here, John?
I don't know. Is there any other? I mean,
that's all really
most
we have?
powerful. We could argue all fucking day, but I mean, I would say maybe Doctor Strange probably the most powerful. Thanos or Doctor Strange, right?
It's definitely just Doctor Strange. Well, in the MCU, it's Thanos because he just Doctor Strange and Iron Man together can't even beat him. Plus Spider-Man,
but without any stones.
No, even without the stones, he's better than them. He fucking kicks Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor's ass with just.
Didn't he already have a couple stones though?
He didn't have any stones.
He didn't have any stones.
This is an in-game. In-game.
They try and take him when he doesn't have stones,
in-game.
and they still get whooped. Like with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, he just kicks their asses. It's
all right. It's getting late. We got to close this thing out.
It's been a long one.
It's a very long one.
Can we talk some more about Captain America?
I mean, there's like
you did a good
20
job,
major
Matt.
characters we had to discuss.
You really made me think more about Captain America because before I was just like, ugh, screw him. But now at least I'm like, oh, okay, he said some stuff.
No, that's how I used to be too.
Matt sells everybody.
Pre-Civil War, I didn't
my
really
favorite white boy in all media.
I didn't really care about it. Yeah, John and I used to roast Matt.
Cap's the man, dude.
I used to view him in the same way as I do Superman, but now I'm like, oh no, they're clearly different.
No.
Oh, no. I love Cap though.
Similar ideals, but I respect Cap more because he's just a man.
Mm-hmm. And he literally fights Nazis. Come on, what's there not to like?
All right, is everybody ready?
I think I could definitively say who I think the best
Yes.
character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is.
It's so hard.
Give me 10 seconds and let me think about it.
Yeah, I feel like
Luis,
I know who Luis and Matt are going to choose, but I don't know who you are going to choose, John.
Luis, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You know who I'm going to pick, Brandon?
Okay, I need to think. Hold on.
Actually, no. Since you said you changed your mind.
Good, I like to be mysterious.
All right. Are y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Black
Captain
Black
America.
Panther.
All right, I didn't hear
Tails for
anybody. So.
Yeah.
I never do.
All right,
We're going to find out a better way to do this.
Luis,
This method
who is
sucks
it?
ass.
It's just
I love
hilarious
it.
at this point. I said Black Panther.
I also said Black Panther.
I also said Black Panther.
I said Iron Man.
I said Captain America.
I knew Matt and Luis were going to stick with their characters,
I
but I was
will
unsure
never
about you
betray
two.
my mans.
I almost went with Iron Man, but
Yeah, I
almost
thought
went
you
with
might.
Captain America.
But the more I thought about Black Panther, I legitimately, even though he only got one solo film, that character, like...
And only ever
Just-
will get one solo film.
That's true. And I didn't vote for him. You know, it is sad that Chadwick Boseman passed. I think he was a cool person, a cool actor. I'd be lying if I knew a lot about him, so I'm not going to, like, sit here and make it about, like, oh, I had this personal thing about him. I don't. But
I liked him in 42.
I didn't vote for him because of Chadwick Boseman. I voted for him legitimately because that movie, I think, was the one that had the biggest impression on me. I really do think Black Panther is
And
one of the best.
I think it had the biggest like cultural impact.
No, for sure.
That's fair.
Bro, seeing the pictures of kids crying and doing little funerals with their toys at home was so
man.
sad.
Yeah,
is
but
what it
again,
is.
that's not even why I made the decision. I agree with all of that. I legitimately think he is. We were talking about the categories. I think that's what finally sold me. Was like he does have the coolest aesthetic. I think out of all these characters.
It's because you guys don't like the good old American way.
I can't believe it. We did it again. We figured out who the best character is in whatever we're talking about, despite the podcast being called Your Favorite Character Sucks. Now the only question is, what should we do next? You can help us decide by following us at YFCSPOD on Instagram and Twitter and telling us which show, movie, series, book you think we should do. Until then, hit that subscribe button and catch us on the next episode. Thanks for listening.